All right, welcome back, everyone, to another edition of 13 Cards Subject to Change. We're actually up to number 14. Can you believe that, Zach?
Well, it's official. We're almost ready for high school.
Oh, yeah, I know. All right, well, we got Zach. You heard him, of course. And with much fanfare and joy to have our brother from another mother, Willie.
Willie Harris.
We miss you, Willie.
Oh, thank you for having me back. Thank you.
Willie's been off handling some family stuff recently, but we're super happy to have him back on the show and super happy to ask him some questions on some recent topics. Willie has not heard my rant yet for AEW, but I'm sure when he does, he will be laughing his little ass off the entire time that he listens to it, because boy was I angry. But we got a bunch of stuff for you guys today. Not so much Raw and SmackDown. We're going to kind of venture into the worlds of Spot Monkey, NXT mostly, a little bit of the main roster. A little New Japan on the show as well today. New Japan obviously has resumed shows with fans over in Japan. They have a lot of safety regulations for the pandemic.
Well, they're starting their tourney.
They have a tournament to determine the number one contender for Jon Moxley's New Japan United States Championship, which again, something about Jon Moxley and U.S. titles. He never defends it, ever.
I know. August 14th is when they're starting it.
August 14th is the start of the tournament.
That's the first one. We'll
get into that here in a little bit. But we're going to start things off with the North American Championship Tournament is still continuing. It's coming to a conclusion as we're setting up the 5-man ladder match for TakeOver 30. For those of you that don't know, the North American Championship was vacated by Keith Lee in KFAB to say he was willing to give other people the opportunity to win the championship. He had one defense against Dijakovic. And so far we've had 3 triple threat matches. However, Dexter Lumis is now out of the tournament. Suffered an ankle injury in his triple threat match. Really wanted to see Dexter Lumis in that match. Kind of bummed that he's not in it, but
yeah, I am too. I think that would have been a good one. I mean, I enjoy watching him, and yeah, it would have been a good aspect of that ladder match to have him in there too.
Okay, so do we have one more triple threat match coming up here before the second chance thing that's going to be happening?
Yeah, I believe one more this Wednesday, and then they still got time, and then they're going to do...
Well, they have the second chance thing where Balor and Gargano are already announced for it to get back into it.
Yeah, whoever the person that was not pinned on each of the 4 triple threats are going to be competing
in a fatal four-way.
To see who's going to be the last participant.
Which I think is a nice little wrinkle to the whole situation. You know, it's like you get to sort of play off the rules of a triple threat that, hey, you weren't actually pinned, so you kind of didn't lose. I mean, we all know the rules of a triple threat, a three-way dance, whatever you want to call it. I mean, it's had so many names over its years.
Gang bang wrestling.
Well,
well, not that one.
Well, this isn't Devotion Pro Wrestling, now run by Vince Russo, but we'll talk about that on another day.
Thank God, because I have to prepare myself.
2 things that go so well together: Christianity and professional wrestling. Brought to you by Vince Russo, the man who kind of brought you the Attitude Era and killed WCW. We'll get into that in a little bit here. So anyway, North American Championship, I'm a little bit impressed at how they're doing it. Remember, the championship was actually first introduced in a ladder match at a TakeOver. When Adam Cole, I think, was it Adam Cole?
Yes, Adam Cole was the first one, yes.
He was the first one. Won that in a ladder match.
Yes.
Not much to say here until I think we've set the field. I think when you have a 300-pound thick boy in Bronson Reed coming up, you have an interesting situation with ladders. Damian Priest has also been has been announced because he won his triple threat match. That was the only triple threat match where I actually kind of knew what was going to happen. That was the only one where I looked at myself and I was like, okay, this makes sense. This is going to work. Poor Oni Lorcan still can't get a victory, but hey, he's not really what people are looking for in NXT. He's not a hybrid guy. He's an old catch wrestling kind of guy. You would love Oni Lorcan because Oni Lorcan, it's very simple. It's all old school submissions. He tries to knock people out. It's just straight punching and knocking dudes down. I got
slobber knocker.
Definitely.
I gotta send you him versus Timothy Thatcher, because that match, dude, there was no flips, there was no crazy modern indie stuff. They just went out there to beat the crap out of each other. It lost them a lot of ratings, but that's because a lot of the people that watch NXT, they don't know a lot of the old school catch wrestling style stuff. But it was a very interesting scenario to me to watch those two go. But yeah, so we're
Maybe
gonna
because the indie is more like people want to see pageantry.
Well, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit when we get to the AEW. Anyway, so on to the big news in NXT. We're setting you up for the tournament. For those of you that don't know, Adam Cole and Pat McAfee are now officially scheduled to have a match at SummerSlam. Willie has just now seen the video of Pat McAfee, not the podcast.
Not the first, not the first one.
Not
Yes.
set up.
And he splits the uprights.
Yeah, definitely on that.
It wasn't
Holy
a kicker; he was a
Christ!
punter. The
Don't
proper,
give a shit, because
the
either way
proper
it goes,
statement-
that was good.
the proper statement,
Yes.
the proper statement would be Adam Cole hit the jumbotron in Dallas Cowboy Stadium.
All right, we'll put it this way: since he was a
definitely
punter,
did.
That was clearly a coffin kick.
Yeah, that's fair. That's very fair.
No pun intended, because they
no,
almost
no,
killed
no,
him
no,
with
no,
that
no,
one
no.
too. Oh my lord!
No, there was pun intended.
There was a lot of pun intended.
Ooh. Oh, yeah, all right.
Adam Cole for the remainder of that broadcast did not move. He was stoned.
Yeah,
on
he just
the
laying there.
freaking
It's
mat.
like-
I'm gonna take a nap.
Oh my god.
Shawn Michaels is there. Is there a medic coming? Is there a medic
That
coming?
was
I'm
the
like,
thing. That was
where
the
is
thing.
the medic
Willie,
coming?
Willie, you missed the video. This is how much they've delved into it. So it wasn't just referees and like backstage people breaking those two up. Triple H and Shawn Michaels were both in that scrum.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And Triple H actually challenged Pat McAfee for Adam Cole on Get Up on ESPN.
He wants to get kicked in the head next?
I don't know. It's for.
He could take it.
Oh yeah. Well.
Yeah, he could take it, but there's no way in hell you're gonna take a kick like that and then not have your brain jello shaking.
Well, but this is my thing. Well, to go back to the kick, it sounded like Maury got him right in the chest. I mean, that was
No, like
straight.
that was a clear head kick, and you can hear the
snap.
No, not the snap, but just the pure blood force of it. You know how you
I'll have
can
to watch
usually
that
hear.
again.
You can usually hear like when a body hits the floor
Right,
on
yeah,
the
yeah.
outside of the ring. He hadn't even began to fall when you heard that
That's
thud.
true. That's true. No,
So it's kind of scary. It's like hitting cardboard with a baseball bat. That
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
that impact.
We'll get the baseball bats in a second. That's it.
Yeah, we're gonna
That's
talk
a
about
different
that.
show, Willie. It's a totally different show. We're not
Yes.
covering them this week. He said Impact. We're not allowed to talk about them yet.
Yeah, whatever.
Anyway, no. Here's the deal.
Well, they're better in AEW, man.
Yeah, there you go. That's not hard to do.
That's true.
So here's the deal. It started with a Twitter exchange where Adam Cole, during a pandemic, went to do Pat McAfee's show. I haven't seen the whole podcast. I've only seen up until the point when McAfee, I guess, had finally pushed enough buttons and Adam Cole lost it. I thought it was, I didn't know if it was real or a shoot, but I think that's credit to we've all seen Pat McAfee in his podcasting days be kind of a poker. I mean, he really likes to sting with people. He tries to really mess with them a lot.
Isn't that kind of the point?
Well, that's the point of his whole deal. But the thing about it is that, I mean, Leroy, thoughts on Adam Cole going from being the longest reigning NXT champion to, I guess, working with a football player, and not even a current football player, a retired football player. Is this another example of football players are just over because people know him type deal?
I think a little bit of that, and like I said before, the last one, I actually thought that with Adam Cole, what he did on the podcast, he was legitimately pissed off, and the numbers and all the media crap they got from this, Triple H had to look at it going, we got something here, we got to do this, and they started doing it. I was like, hey,
so
you're
saying the original thing was real?
I think it was real. I think it really, to me, if it wasn't real,
Yeah.
Oh my God, they did a great job at faking me out.
Well, but Adam Cole's always been great at selling. He's been great since he got to Ring of Honor. I think Adam Cole, and again, we talked about the show many times, if he hadn't gotten sick and lost all that weight, Adam Cole would be probably bigger right now than he already is. He's already one of the biggest stars in NXT. My biggest thing is, I mean, Willie, your thoughts on bringing in a football player who's not trying to be a wrestler, although I think Pat McAfee's trying to be a heel in this case. He's kind of overdoing the acting maybe a little bit. But, I mean, Willie, just thoughts on bringing a football player who's not actually trying to wrestle. It's just an angle. I mean...
to be honest, it's not the first time it's been done. Because if you remember, who was that they brought from the Carolina Panthers in? He wasn't trying to wrestle. He just was coming in to do a cameo for a little bit. And he came in from the Carolina Panthers, and it was a really good turnout.
Yeah.
And, you know, he brought a lot of ratings, and he was able to play both sides.
I kind of remember that a little bit. The biggest football thing in wrestling I remember of the modern era was when Pac-Man Jones went to TNA.
Oh, no, it was...
well, there was another one before that. There was another one. But there was another one before that.
Okay.
LT.
LT was
Bam
there.
Bam.
Well, but here's the difference, though. LT was not only not a punter, he was a linebacker.
Well, yeah.
LT could hold his own in that type of...
I mean, LT is one of those guys where, like, if you take prime LT, Lawrence Taylor, and you put him in any era of football, he gonna dominate everybody.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, LT is the reason why there's so many offensive linemen who are getting paid anything these days, because you can't just take a somewhat big guy and put him on the offensive line anymore. You have to build a left tackle. You have to build a guard. You actually have to find guys who have been dedicated to being linemen for 10, 15 years before they get to the NFL, before you even put somebody... I mean, you can't convert a tight end to a lineman anymore because of LT.
Oh, no, you can't.
You can't do that. So, I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think that Pat McAfee has more charisma than 90% of the roster right now. I think he's actually selling people on the idea of what's going to happen. My only question is like, what's going to end up happening when you have Pat McAfee, who's not a wrestler? He's obviously in shape. Willie pointed out when he watched the video. I mean, the dude's still built. I mean, it's not like... Yeah. I mean, it's not like he just went to hell after his playing days. And, you know, again, Pat McAfee was an all-pro punter for a long time with the Colts. I mean, like, he was not a nobody punter in that league. Especially considering he was on Peyton Manning's Colts, I think, for a long time. So, I mean, you know, when you're on the Colts at that point in time, everybody kind of knows you because you're always playing.
Anybody on the same team with Peyton Manning, they're going to remember you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
so,
yeah, definitely.
I mean, look, Adam's a great competitor. I think... What do you do if you're not going to move him to the main roster? What does he do in NXT? I think that Kyle O'Reilly's now back, so, you know...
Yeah, I saw that, yeah.
The Undisputed Era is kind of at full strength, but I don't think they're going to start winning all the championships back, because I don't know if it's time to move the UE from NXT to the main roster. Maybe it is, because the ratings have kind of been dipping on the main roster. And at this point, I don't think NXT is going to catch AEW, especially with a lot of the stuff they've been doing recently. I'll be complimenting here in a little bit, so it's going to be the fourth time in 2 weeks.
You're going to complicate it, and I'm getting really annoyed because everything that all these fans bitched about WWE doing, AEW is doing the same shit.
Willie, wait till I get to the most recent thing that happened, because I'm gonna probably blow your mind. You're probably gonna look at me and say, "Oh my God, why are we trying this again?" But we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
But you know, parting thoughts there, Leroy, for Adam Cole versus Pat McAfee. Do you have any expectations for this, honestly?
Well, I really hope they don't drag it on too long. Adam Cole should win. I mean, unless for some reason we get McAfee gets that punt and nails him. I mean, I could see that, the way they end it like that
Randy
again.
Orton versus Pat McAfee in a punting competition might be kind of funny, actually.
Nah, I'd have to get that one to Randy Orton. I think he's better.
No.
Not in an actual punting situation.
Well, I know,
punting people's heads off.
But his
maybe.
punting people's head off, yes.
Well, but you also have to realize, like Willie said, when you look at the punt, Pat McAfee, he threw his arms out like he just dropped a football. I mean, like, he punted Adam Cole as if Adam Cole was the ball, whereas Randy Orton's got that sort of side head punt, so he's not trying to hurt people. Pat McAfee just took his foot and said, "I did this for 15 years at the NFL level. Bye-bye Adam Cole's consciousness."
No.
Yeah,
the way he kicked him, he made it look like he was trying to make his brain drip out of his butthole.
I mean,
I think Adam Cole.
You can laugh, but I mean, like seriously,
like that kick was done with some malicious intent. You don't step in like that, and you can tell when a kicker's going in for a real kick and not a squib.
Yeah,
that was not a squib. That was I'm
looking to punt this thing as far down as possible.
I'm trying to get a touchback.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and I said that's good for him to do story-wise to make people hate him
Yeah.
even
Well,
more
but the
thing
thing
they do.
Well, but the problem is that again, Pat, once again, we've talked about how Spot Monkey can't really define this kind of stuff, but we've got who's the heel, who's the babyface? Did they think they were bringing in McAfee to be the babyface because he's a nice dude?
But what if they're trying to go heel versus heel?
Those are really hard to do, though. I mean,
Not necessarily. Who? They can probably pull it out and like, who do you hate more?
well. Also,
Which one do you want to see get their ass kicked?
That's true, and I will
Yes.
say this: both guys are really good to the point where they get to that point where they're obnoxious. To the point where, like Willie said, either A, it's obnoxious to where it's so over the top that you're like, okay, I kind of accept that he's a bad guy, or it's obnoxious to the point where, like Willie said, I just want to see you get your head kicked off.
Exactly. It's not made for, oh, I'm going for this guy, I'm going for this guy. This is just pure, unadulterated hatred to see the person on stage. You can't figure out who you dislike more or whose ass you want to see get kicked worse. You just want to see somebody get fucked up.
And that's
We got
one.
your one.
That's one.
Hey, and that one, it was worth it.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yes,
but,
it is.
But I mean, okay. So, do you want to wait until it's over to see if it added credibility to Adam Cole, or do you want to just already make a judgment and say we just took the longest reigning NXT champion and now he's working with a punter? He's not even working with anybody in NXT. I mean, I'm always a long-term guy, but I mean, if you're not going to move to the main roster, there's nothing for Adam Cole left to do. You could have Adam Cole go away for a little bit and then bring in the main roster with the UE, but I mean, I feel like at this point NXT doesn't have anyone else to use, so they're kind of stuck with the UE.
Well,
That could also be the angle.
that could be the angle where he could get
So
kicked.
embarrassed that he just gets kicked out of
Well,
NXT.
no, he gets kicked that
kicked
hard.
out.
I can see the Russo thing now. Pat McAfee kicks Adam Cole so hard he forgets he was ever in NXT and just walks into Raw one day. I can see the
there you
writing
go.
on the wall.
Kicked him so hard he thought he was 12 again. Something like that.
Willie
I don't
Harris
know.
with more imagination than most wrestling writers already these
Hey,
days.
I'm just saying, how awesome would it be if they actually pushed it to the point where, all right, we're going to have you go against this kicker. You're already a heel. Somebody's going to come out. You've already thrown him out of the ring, and both of y'all are in a scramble to try to get back in.
Okay.
And as he's trying to get in, somebody sneaks in, grabs him by the leg. So when he turns around and kicks the person off, he's already on all fours, and he turns around to kiss somebody's boot. And it's bye-bye, birdie, good night, moon.
Okay.
Yeah,
No,
that could be injury angle, be out for a little while, and all of a sudden, boom,
New heel.
new heel back on the main stage. They
True.
could do it like that.
True.
It has happened before.
Well, but I think the other thing about it is that I think some people but again, I'm kind of okay with it because again, I've actually kind of believed in it a lot more. I don't actually hate this. My biggest thing is that you have a lot of wrestling fans who are like, why are we bringing in a non-wrestler? Why can't we build somebody else? But again, the problem is like, who do you build in NXT right now? I mean, they've already thrown all the guys they're trying to build in the North American Championship tournament, so Adam Cole really doesn't have many people to work with, and I don't think you break up the UE right now because they're so good together. They play off each other so well that there's no point in like saying, oh, Bobby Fish is... Because the thing is, Bobby Fish is... First of all, Bobby Fish is old as hell. People don't realize that, but I mean,
Yeah, he is.
Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, they're known as Red Dragon in the Indies. They're the UE here. They're a great tag team, one of the best in the world. Roddy Strong, I think, has shown he can be more than just Mr. ROH. Because remember, in Ring of Honor, he came out in like the old school sweat jacket. Like when back when you were a kid, everyone had like the New Orleans or the Charlotte Hornets sweat jacket that was like bright blue and shit.
Oh, the starter jacket.
Yeah. He used to wear that down in Ring of Honor, and Roddy was great in Ring of Honor, and his cardio, I don't know what that guy does. I've watched... Huh?
Okay.
Fair enough. I don't know.
We're not in the 80s anymore. No, that's what it was back then.
All I can say is this, though, is that Roddy Strong, you watch him go for 20
I think
minutes...
Randy Savage is like a pure indication that he was...
cocaine hair.
Like,
Oh,
yeah.
All day. How do you think... Hey, the cream can't rise to the top if the white stuff don't go up the nose first.
So true, yeah.
But that's my thing, is just... you look at Roddy... Cardio's out of his world. I mean, that guy can go in like a 20-minute tag team match, and all of a sudden I look at him and he hasn't broken a sweat. Roddy is so good in the ring. And then obviously Adam Cole is a combination of he can wrestle. He doesn't really have that size, but obviously that was the, sickness he had. But he gets it from a mental standpoint. He knows how to build a match. Like I said, nobody was talking about him being too small against Keith Lee, even though by as long as the day is long, he was much smaller than Keith Lee. But Willie's small standing next to Keith Lee.
Oh, yeah, I'm tiny standing next to him. But like a lot of the only one, Cross, he's the only one that's really not.
Well, but Cross is busy with
Keith
Keith
that
Lee.
Smiled with. Well, no, with size with Keith Lee.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's more a match of that size. There isn't many people on the roster that are kind of like size-wise with Keith Lee.
Well,
he's big.
Well, but
compared to
we've seen
everybody.
that Keith Lee can work with just about anybody.
Oh, he
yeah,
can.
but that's
Yes.
just the thing. You don't have to be size-wise just to compete. Look at how many times, like, everybody that's almost a luchador has gone against somebody they had no business matching up with.
Well, no, and I agree. And this is the argument always. This is why you make Brock work with small guys, because Brock seems to always understand how to work with smaller dudes.
It's like the
He has
Great
better
Dane
matches
Chihuahua
with
effect.
those.
Yeah, sadly.
Yeah.
There's a hell of a reference there.
No, seriously, like, have you ever seen a Great Dane play with the Chihuahua?
Oh yeah,
Like,
it's
it's
hilarious.
like you're batting around another paw that's barking. You don't do it too hard, but you make it look like he has a chance. And sometimes you might even roll over and play dead for a little bit, but deep down you already know I can squash you at any given second.
So kind of a funny story. So my parents owned one dog in their life together, and it was a purebred black lab, championship pedigree black lab.
Yeah.
Her name was Alex.
Black labs matter.
All right, there we go.
Couldn't
had one
help
of
it.
those.
I would. But no, Willie. To your point, here's the story. So my dad used to walk her in the neighborhood, and our neighbors had one of those little tiny yipper dogs who would always run up to the edge of the driveway, and she would yip it at Alex. Now Alex was so trained by my dad that she never did anything about it. But one day the dog came up, and she must have just not cared. Because I kid you not, my dad said, take dog snout, turn to one side. Dog is on the other side. She flipped that dog like 5 feet in the air, not in the other direction. Needless to say, that dog never turned around and barked at her again.
Oh, definitely not. Yeah, I'd like to place kick those things.
Yeah, right?
Oh.
Call McAfee.
So you want a McAfee, a puppy?
Yes.
And you're banned from the show.
Oh, damn.
And now we got dog haters that are gonna talk
And
about
Peter's
us.
after us.
Ah.
Thanks.
Hey, wait. I own a cat and I love her. Does that count?
Hell no.
No.
Ah, crap.
It's a cat.
Fucking
What?
hate
It's
cats.
We all know cats don't like people.
Cats get remade every couple of seconds. It's
much.
like
Hey.
a Hulk movie.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, you remember my old cat, God rest her soul, Rocky, loved me to death but hated the ex-wife.
Because
Yes.
that cat was smart.
Yes, I know. It
Yes.
sensed evil, so it's still, that's what everybody told me,
Exactly. Listen to the cat.
And unfortunately, this cat is on the edge. It kind of does and kind of doesn't. I have to teach it better now.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So moving on from the Pat McAfee Adam Cole situation, we're now going to move to our what is basically now a weekly spot monkey moment where we're gonna recap AEW's.
We've gotten some good hits.
We have
from
people-
that.
people are enjoying it.
So we got to keep it going.
Recent AEW news: Cody Rhodes' wife Brandy has left Twitter.
Thank God. No, she puts up the tweets of her in a bikini.
Well,
that's I like that.
Anyway, so
Who didn't?
I know.
So Willie, Brandy Rhodes left Twitter. Actually, it was kind of racially driven a little bit there. AEW now has this thing called AEW Heels, where it's like you pay $5.99 and you get like exclusive content to their women's division. Although no one cares about their women's division, so I don't know why we're having people pay $5.99 for it.
Probably because they're just gonna post pictures with captions that have nothing to do.
So basically, this is.
Well, that would be all right.
So why don't we just call it AEW OnlyFans? I don't understand why we're just calling it that.
Yeah,
Because when you say that, you're expected to at least see some type of titty or sex toy.
That's fair.
Oh, and they're trying to be in a family show too, I think. So that wouldn't work.
A family show with thumbtacks. Interesting idea.
Yeah, right. Show on how to make a family.
There we go.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so Cody Rhodes said that his wife woke up to a bunch of N-bombs. That's why she dropped her Twitter. But I want to make this very clear. I don't care about the racial stuff here. Why are you making me pay $5.99 for your women's division that is so trash right now anyway? I don't even want to watch it on free network cable. Why am I going to pay for this?
The same reason people pay to go to the strip club and see Section 8 moms.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. But I mean, I don't understand why. Okay, but Willie, going back to AEW, this is them, in my opinion, once again trying to walk before they even know how to crawl. WWE can make you pay for exclusive content because they have a brand that's been around forever. And they have other things to show you, but you haven't even been on television for 10 months, and you're already coming out with a pay-for service?
WWE doesn't give out refried garbage, but sometimes people want to run before they can walk. So, with that being said, a lot of people are going to try and jump a couple of levels. It doesn't mean that it's necessarily going to take off. It just means that you really don't understand what you're doing in certain aspects of the business.
I guess they actually had a lot of subscriptions to it, but
then they're probably just going to do a link with Pornhub next.
There we go. But
that's I think it's a lot of guys, young kids that are like, oh my god,
again,
and then they get disappointed.
But again, here's my thing. I think AEW Heels is like exclusive content to actual women's wrestling stuff, but I'm like, so why don't you feature that on your like I have never seen a company get a 2-hour slot on national television and just not give a damn about it. They're more focused on their YouTube show. They're focused on building all these other brands. You have a 2-hour national television slot. No one from the network is really asking you what to do on your show. You can write whatever you want, and they keep barely taking care of it.
Yeah.
No one no
Idiots.
one's concentrating on that. It's so schizophrenic. I'm not going to go into a random of it. I mean, we've already talked a bunch about the ratings and all this other stuff, and they actually had a huge uptick in ratings after the MJF State of the Union address type thing he did. They actually had a huge upturn.
Oh yeah.
Which makes perfect sense because he's fantastic. I love him. Willie, for what you don't know, he came out at first of all he's a heel. He came. MJF, Maxwell Jacob Friedman. He's a heel in AEW, but he's an old school kayfabe heel. He doesn't care about people liking him at all. He does everything he can to make fun of people. In fact, Willie, he posted a picture. I don't know if this was him on his Facebook or so. There's a picture of Becky Lynch with Shawn Michaels, right? And Shawn Michaels isn't dressed up as Shawn Michaels. He's just dressed a little, a certain way. And Maxwell Jacob Friedman's comment is, I never liked Becky Lynch before, but now she's giving love to this homeless guy, and I kind of have more respect for her. Mind you, he's talking about the greatest, in-ring performer of all time almost in Shawn Michaels, and he doesn't like it. So anyway, Willie, I'll paint you the scene. He comes out, he's got a podium, right? And he's dressed almost identical to Trump. He's got a suit, red tie, white shirt. He comes out to give a State of the Union, and he's going to talk about his candidacy for AEW World Champion. And he's got a female who's kind of running the press conference. He turns to her and goes, "Stand over there and look pretty, girly. I don't, stop trying to." So it's like he doesn't care about the fact that this is all elite and they're trying to be female friendly or they're trying to make everyone all inclusive. He doesn't give a damn. Now the promo was great because he called out everyone in the AEW locker room for being basically spot monkeys. He said, "You're a bunch of gymnastics losers. You don't have my talent. I'm better than all of you. I'm younger than all of you." And he basically said, "I declare my candidacy for Jon Moxley's World Championship." It's now him and Jon Moxley at, was it All Out? I think it's the pay-per-view.
I think so.
Yeah, my thing is like, just because of him being a heel and being that much of a douche, I like him.
But that's the thing. He's literally one of the only good spots in Spot Monkey.
Well, maybe they can take and give him more after, McAfee kicks old boy's head in.
Well, no. Well, no. This is AEW, not NXT.
Never mind.
So yeah, we're over there. But no. Here's the thing.
Sorry, they all look alike.
That's fair. That's fair.
Wow, yeah.
But
Sometimes.
But this is my thing. Is that again we have another week where AEW does great in the ratings, but MJF was a large reason why. But they don't give this guy that much TV time. The guy, I mean, up until his State of AEW address, which is what I'm calling it right now, he didn't like 1 week he'd have like a 4-minute promo, and then you wouldn't see him for 2 weeks because they have to feature all their friends and all the flippy stuff. And I mean, okay, look, here's the deal. I actually would be 100% into AEW more if Maxwell Jacob Freeman was on my TV for 20 minutes a night.
Okay,
He's
well,
so good.
all right, well, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
At one point in time, weren't you saying that their whole thing was to spite WWE and do everything the exact opposite?
No, I think, well, okay, no. Their whole thing was to be the alternative. Sadly,
Yes.
sadly, they're just WWE light. But the thing about it,
That's about right, yeah.
but the thing about it is that Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF, he doesn't care about what Cody's doing. He doesn't care what the Young Bucks are doing. He is literally in business for himself. He straight up goes out there and he'll make fun of his bosses, who are the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. He'll make fun of everyone's favorite, I guess, heel champion, John Moxley. I don't understand where that's going.
Yeah, I don't know, yeah.
I mean, I love the fact that he. I mean, MJF is doing what FTR should have done when they came in.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
They should have come in and they should have said, "Hey, we are the best tag team in the world. Screw you guys. We're just gonna beat people up and not care," which would be Willie's favorite part of the whole show if they actually did that. But
Damn right.
But they came in and now they're all friendly with everyone. Oh, by the way, Willie, funny story. So the Revival from WWE is now in AEW, which you know, we're catching you up here. They're now FTR. Now they've had a Twitter war back and forth with the Young Bucks for years, right? About 3-4 years now. So wouldn't you book them to come in and immediately start taking the head off the Young Bucks? Wouldn't that be what you want?
No.
Would you make them friends? Would you make them teammates though?
No. What I would do
'Cause that's what
is
Spot
I
Monkey's
would
doing.
bring them in,
Yeah.
and before I would even have them wrestling, I would have them taunting. They're gonna start off somewhere in there, and they're gonna start off just in
And
the crowd making noise.
And they've kind of been doing that. The problem is they're doing it to Omega and Page, which, by the way, congratulations to them on over 200 days as AEW World Tag Team Champions. But all you're doing is holding the tag team titles hostage for an eventual heel turn by either Omega or Page. I don't know why they're the tag team. Like, can't they just be a tag team and not have the title belts? Why do the title belts have to be on the supposed greatest wrestler in the world? I don't understand that right now. But that's neither here nor there. But no, Willie. So FTR actually officially signed a contract with AEW on AEW television. You want to know how sad that was? Let me explain this. AEW always talked about how they don't have tag ropes. They don't have traditional tag team things. Dude, AEW in the contract signing actually said, if we're going to sign here, we want the tag team rules to be followed. And I'm sitting here looking at myself like,
Wait, they want the rules to be followed?
nobody follows the rules on AEW. They have a 10 count to break a hold instead of a 5 count. They have a 10 count outside the ring, but the referees never call it. And then they turn around and like nobody tags each other in, nobody holds the tag ropes. Leroy and I apparently learned through AEW that if you're in an 8-man tag team match and you tag in one of your partners, if that partner turns around and tags in another guy, both those guys are now legal.
Yeah.
What is it, like,
And I
second rule?
I don't know that. But this is what's happening.
I did my research and found yes. I mean, they were doing it totally like, no, they need to have a tag rope, which I think now they're starting to do.
But no, but Leroy, this is
But
how
it
much.
took how long?
But this is how much they're poking fun at the wrestling business, Leroy. The FTR during an interview that was on their taped national television show said, "We want tag ropes if we're gonna come wrestle here." I'm like, what? Wrestling rings just come with a tag rope naturally. It's on the friggin' turnbuckle. Why are we asking for this? So once again,
Because they didn't have them. For the first year, they did not have tag ropes. They didn't know how to tag
we're not
in
even a
correctly.
year into this bullshit.
And now they're actually looking at the rule book. It took me a while to find the rules for that, man.
Okay.
Trust me, it was like Jedi. I mean, it was crazy.
But it's just you say you want to revive old school sports based wrestling. That means reviving tag team wrestling. That means making sure that standings matter. None of that matters. Your tag team division's been garbage since you came in because all you're doing is showing off your flips and your bullshit. And now all of a sudden you sign perhaps the greatest tag team in the world, in my opinion, outside of the Briscoe brothers. But
Yes.
you know, that's nor here nor there. And
Where
there's
is it?
Huh?
Not here or there. Then where the hell is it?
Yeah, we're trying to figure
It's
that
in
out.
Tony Khan's pocket. That's all I know.
I don't want to know what's in his pocket.
So moving on from FTR. So Willie, this past week, they had a debate between Chris Jericho and Orange Cassidy. An actual, real. We'll get to this. Hold on, Leroy.
I watched that. I give Orange Cassidy props.
It wasn't a bad promo.
He
towards
did
the
pretty
end,
damn good.
But here's the deal. It wasn't a debate on who's better. It wasn't. It was a real political debate. Like they asked about like global warming. They asked about current affairs. I'm just like, what
I'm glad
are
I
we
missed
doing?
that.
Oh god. But no, Willie. So
the moderator.
No, hold on. They had a moderator for this debate. They had a dude sit at a desk on the stage moderating the two guys in the ring. Now,
it wasn't just some dude.
Oh no, hold on. Leroy, stop ruining my build-up.
All right.
Here. So Willie,
that's what
we're on TNT television, okay? Wrestling's back on TNT. Who do you think we should bring back to moderate?
Booker T.
No, he wouldn't
Eric
stoop that low.
Bischoff.
What?
Was back on TNT television. And I love how we're on Turner
That's
Network.
like asking Stormy Daniels to do a class on safe sex.
Pretty much. You're not wrong.
Wouldn't they say it was like 20 some odd years since he's been on TNT? Something like that?
That's not long enough.
All right.
We're back on TNT, so let's bring the guy in who killed TNT Wrestling in the first time.
Like, he's like, all right.
Well, he didn't totally kill it. He had help.
Let me think of how to explain my vision of Eric Bischoff.
Oh,
He is like he's like going dumpster diving for a stepped on, opened, taped shut, then reopened, remolded. And I don't mean molded as in shaped. I mean like green, fuzzy fungus molded.
I think I get it.
Package of knockoff dollar store.
It's only a 2.5 hour show, Willie.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just like kind of like that guy that we found on our dumpster at work. Oh, jeez.
God. Anyway.
Yeah.
But no, but just. Oh, by the way, Willie, it's been announced. Eric Bischoff said this is a one-off. He's not actually coming to work for AEW. They brought him in, but again, you're trying to be different. Yet every 5 minutes, what are you promoting? Former WWE cast-off guys.
That's like somebody saying, "I'm gonna be better than my parents," and then following their footsteps.
Well, Willie, Zach is dying over there. They also
no, he's choking on their bullshit.
Right?
Take a drink, or did you? He drank the wrong thing there, maybe. I don't know.
Down the wrong pipe.
But also,
that's not
you know who else?
Bottle.
No,
Willie, do you know who else is on AEW now?
Tears.
Oh God.
You will love this.
Trish Stratus.
No, never would you do that. Vicky Guerrero.
Oh.
Excuse me. Yeah, she
Her
is
voice
on.
is like listening to a frog get sodomized.
Yeah,
That's fair. That's
she's
very fair.
she's on AEW, and
Oh, by the way. Okay, so Willie, another booking decision that they decided with. So now they have a women's tag team tournament.
yeah.
Don't ask me why. But they have no belts. They have no women's belts. They're just having a tag team tournament for women.
Wait. So they don't have a belt for the women, and they're just
They have a world title, but they don't have a
They
tag
don't,
team
yeah.
belt. But hold
Because,
on.
like, from the sounds of it, you say they're trying to be women friendly. What are you gonna do? Like, congratulations, you won. You get like this nice, pretty apron or something.
I don't know, but anyway.
Maybe.
So Willie, the Nightmare Sisters, which is Cody's wife Brandy and Allie, who's back to being Allie. She's no longer the bunny. I don't know. She's no longer the bunny.
Well,
talked about
we
that.
done cooked the bunny, so we're done there.
But anyway, so Willie, Brandy Rhodes, who's the wife of Cody, who's an executive vice president, she and Allie are a tag team. Brandy Rhodes has never really been known as a wrestler. She's trying to be known as a wrestler.
Yeah.
They won their quarterfinal match, but your big 300-pound super Native American beast woman, Nyla Rose, lost her opening round match.
Why?
Wow, they're so stupid.
So
Come on, man. You got to make that more of a David and Goliath thing. If you're gonna do the tag team, then you have to bring her in.
I will say this.
Give
I will
her
say
some
this.
type of different gimmick or something.
Ariana, or whatever her name is now, she used to be Cameron in the WWE, who was her tag team partner. She took the pin, so Nyla didn't get pinned by these two blondes they faced.
Okay, well that is good. Then.
But
Are they still going by the same thing? Well, hey, you were in this match, but you didn't get pinned, so...
no, it was a tag team tournament single elimination.
Ooh.
So Nyla Rose, your gigantic Native American female beast that is twice the size of any woman on this roster, is now out of the tournament after 1 week. 1 week.
What the hell?
And she lost to two women who their combined size is not even close to hers. And I'm looking at myself like, guys, your booking decisions still don't make any sense.
Do you think they're going for more of the looks and like
Oh no!
sex appeal?
Oh no! If they were going for looks, they wouldn't have made Riho, their 85-pound Japanese schoolgirl, their world champion to begin their company with.
That's like a Kenny Omega thing.
But then again, like.
But she
Cosplay.
beat but Willie, she beat Nyla Rose clean. No interference.
Ooh. All right.
Yeah, it's just messed up.
She's got my vote.
She did, yeah. Oh, look, AEW.
Oh, you heard the seriousness in that statement, right?
Oh yeah,
Yes,
totally,
yeah.
totally got it. But no, here's the deal. They've been up in the ratings the last couple of weeks. They're doing something because again, Willie, this is an audience that is going to watch this no matter what. But when Maxwell Jacob Friedman, when MJF is on TV, their ratings go up because everybody in the wrestling business loves him. Everyone that watches wrestling thinks he's good. He's only 22 years old.
Then why hasn't he been stolen from them? I know somewhere, somehow,
because
somebody can throw way more money at him. And
because he was
can't tell me.
MLW Major League Wrestling exclusive. Then he signed with AEW to get more exclusive. Now he's AEW exclusive.
Yeah, you're AEW exclusive, but you're not getting the exclusive treatment that you need. So why not?
But that's his whole gimmick.
Go somewhere and get more money.
Because I think
You know, well,
I don't know.
it
But-
could
Not
happen
even
in the
money,
future.
but exposure.
I mean, but that's what I'm trying to get at. He's on national television, but he doesn't get as much time as Orange Pocket Cassidy. Sorry, I stole that from the Jim Cornette show. But it's just the guy who doesn't say anything and dumps orange juice on Chris Jericho gets more TV time than Maxwell Jacob Friedman. The guy who basically says, By the way, Willie, his theme music, it starts out with him saying, "I'm better than you, and you know it." That's how things start.
Just because he's so cocky, I already like him.
Yeah,
I'm better than you, and you know it.
But that's my whole thing. He is one of the lone bright spots. I've loved pretty much everything he's done in AEW, minus the times that he's worked with some of the gimmicky outlaw idiots that have come into this show. But he is great on the mic. He's the best heel I've seen maybe in almost 20 years. Like straight up, that's how good he is.
Oh yeah, he is that good. He's a great heel.
He's so good, but my problem is that, and maybe this is the Bucks not wanting people to outshine them, but or maybe this is Tony Khan, Tony Khan is apparently the booker of this entire thing. He's apparently booking this show, but you can't see what you've got in this dude.
Tony Khan has part of what team again?
Tony Khan, nothing. His dad, Shad Khan, owns the Jaguars.
All right, so you see how prosperous the Jaguars have been in all of their seasons?
Yeah.
How many titles they've won?
Oh yeah.
How many championships
They
they've
gave
got?
Nick Foles $107
Wait,
million.
wait. Like father, like son. Come on, man. It's got to be something in the gene pool that's making them make these horrific decisions.
It makes you $1 billion, fine, but it doesn't make you good at picking talent for a sports-based presentation.
Nobody cares if they're good at it if you get money.
That's fair.
That is true. Yes. Yeah. If you make
Like,
money,
seriously, if
it
they
don't matter.
cared about how good you were, how many porn stars do you think would have to take acting classes? Oh my God, I have nothing to pay for this pizza with.
That's a fair point. That's very. He's not wrong, Leroy. He's really not.
The worst part is I can figure out so many porn references that go with wrestling.
Oh God, yes.
Pretty much. That's not hard to do.
Okay, I'm bad enough. I can find those things out when I'm at work.
That's true.
That's scary.
Wait, you're looking up porn at work?
No, I'm not.
I hope not. He's supposed to be doing his job.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
He's doing something.
I don't know. But
8 bathroom breaks in 1 hour.
There you go.
Well,
Really?
no, it wouldn't be that
Really?
much.
Really?
I'd be good after like 1 or 2. That's it.
I was gonna say maybe 2 in an hour. But that's my point, Willie. Is just you've got a guy who comes out. He gives a speech. He says, "I am what this company needs. I should be the champion, not dictator John Moxley." He pretty much put a middle finger to all the executive vice presidents. He said about Cody, "I don't have to invent a title for me to be relevant." I mean,
I love it. Just love it.
it was like the best speech I'd seen in wrestling. And by the way, my favorite part was literally the fact that, again, we're in a world now where, and yes, I love this. Hey, we're more positive to giving not only women and blacks more of a chance, but women. And he basically treated a woman like she was nothing, which again is great because he's not supposed to be liked.
Yeah, he's supposed to be an asshole.
He
And
basically said, "Stand over there, toots. I don't need you right now." And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, that is not anywhere close to what you should be doing in the all-inclusive world we live in. And I love it.
So you like that he's just
A
A
jackass? I love it. It's great. It's
good. I'm
fantastic.
not alone in that
Yeah,
statement.
but the thing
Oh, yeah.
about it. Oh, by the way, they also gave him a bodyguard, which is great. You know,
A bodyguard? I wonder why.
he's not a big dude, but I mean, like, oh God, he's.
Is it, well, he's not like Jason Momoa. He has bodyguards, but they're smaller than him.
Oh no.
I don't know how that works out, man. I don't know.
To be fair, those guys are just there where if somebody's got a gun, Jason just holds a little dude up.
It's like doo-doo-doo, body shield.
Exactly. That's a force field if I ever saw one.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, they just had to get to kill 2 guys on the show. Little spoiler alert for killing someone on the show.
Yeah.
From Spot Monkey to a sports-based presentation that might actually be successful. Ladies and gentlemen, the XFL has once again been risen from the ashes. The Rock and his business partner, ex-wife, Danny Garcia, and an investment group.
Wait, his wife's name is Danny Garcia?
Yes.
Yes.
She had balls at one point.
Well, yeah, that's why they're not longer married. You know?
Anyway, they now own the XFL.
Yes.
So I think this is great. The Rock started as a football guy. He gets football. He is the guy also who loves to push the boundaries of anything. I don't care, black, Samoan, white, whatever you want to call him. The dude.
The big dude with the tattoos and no neck.
Yes. But the thing about The Rock is this is great for him because who loves taking on big projects more than The Rock? The Rock is the highest paid action star in the world, and he got there because he loves to work.
Yeah, that's true. He does have an abnormally ridiculous work ethic.
So, Willie, as someone who has played football for a number of years, did you watch any of the XFL when they came back, by the way?
Yes, I definitely did.
So I'm going to ask you, if it weren't for the way the world went in terms of the pandemic, do you think they would have been successful?
Yes, I believe the XFL would have been successful just for the simple fact of nowadays, with all of the whiny bitch moves that the NFL is pulling. Well, you can't tackle the quarterback
field,
right here.
On the field.
On the field.
What you mean on the field?
No. You're saying...
Oh, no, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay, yeah.
On the field with all of the, like, ridiculous moves that everybody's been pulling, like, for lack of a better phrase, Deflategate.
Yeah.
All the crappy moves that they've pulled with the rules. You can't tackle a quarterback here. When you hit a quarterback, you can't fall like this because that's this. Oh, well, the jersey is part of hair. The hair is part of the jersey now. That's a defensive player. That's targeting. For years upon years upon years upon years upon the very beginning of football, it has always been known. As soon as he touches the ball and it is in his hands, that means that's like Daffy Duck going against Elmer Fudd, and he grabs the rifle and says, duck season. Pull the trigger, put him down, lay him out. Don't wait for him to turn around. Take 4 steps. Make sure that you make full eye contact, gaze into his eyes, sing him a lullaby, then try an arm tackle. No, he touched the ball. Even if he doesn't maintain the ball and he's fumbling.
Yeah.
Guess what? Kill the juggler. Shoot him.
So it's like the hockey thing where the guy gets rid of the puck, and as soon as he gets rid of the puck, oh, he doesn't have the puck anymore, but let's still knock his ass out.
He touched
Why
it.
not?
All right, for lack of a better phrase, I grew up playing highball. And highball in other places, and this is going to sound insensitive, but this is just the name of the game, and I didn't make up the name.
No.
The name of the game was Smear the Queer. It's one man versus everybody on the
yeah.
team. We called it highball. You throw the ball up in the air, the first person to grab the ball runs to the furthest touchdown. Now, nobody waited for you to grab the ball and make sure that you had it. As soon as you touched the ball, they were aiming to break your legs.
Yep.
And you grew up in old school Texas football.
Oh yeah, I grew up where like
Well,
the only things you were supposed to do on Sunday was go to church, family dinner, and go to practice.
And that was the thing. You didn't ask to go to practice. You were brought to practice. You were told, get your ass in that practice.
Oh no, like it wasn't even that. It was like, oh, they have a schedule for everything.
Yeah.
Wake up first thing in the morning, church. Get home, pick out my school clothes. By the time I'm done picking out my school clothes, I'm getting dressed to walk out the front door. And before he knocks the doors open, I'm heading downstairs, get in the car, and go hit somebody.
There you go. Yeah.
And it wasn't that, wait till he gets the ball. Don't do no pass interference. For every yard, that's a lap. Oh, 15? Give me 15 laps. I don't care if it's 90 degrees. Pour some water on your face and keep running.
So basically what you're saying is that it had a chance to have a success. I mean, it was already a success to begin with. All the games were pulling in 1 million viewers.
I totally agree.
People wanted the XFL.
It was
To
great
be
to
honest,
watch.
I think with the XFL, they'd be able to pull something that the NFL never thought of. The XFL would be able to play these games, and it would be, since we're on a wrestling channel, a slobber knocker every game. There's highlights of hits, highlights of catches and hits, highlights of truck sticks and hits. But
So-
either way it goes,
so you didn't
all of
find
these
it-
highlights are going to
Yeah.
build up, and then when it comes to that championship game,
Yeah.
pay-per-view.
You didn't.
Yep.
You didn't find it to be a little gimmicky with the way they did the new kickoff rule or all that other kind of stuff.
No.
You didn't find any other stuff to be a little too gimmicky.
To be honest,
Because I don't think it took away from the play of the game.
No, I don't
feel
think it did at all.
it didn't take away from the play of the game for me. I just think like the best way to do it, increase the difficulty.
Right.
Increase the issue of making this an easy win or an easy game. Make them strive. Make them show why you picked them to be on
Now-
your team and be in these positions.
Now, you being a defensive guy pretty much your entire life, I'm going to ask you this. Were you impressed when the XFL came in and even though they were advertising more points, more plays, faster scoring, that the early games were pretty low scoring? I mean, like, was that bad offense or was
it
that
was
just
good defense.
Okay.
Because I'm going to put it this way.
It was defenses being allowed to do what they should.
Basically, bad offenses, I threw an interception.
Yeah.
And they didn't score. They threw an interception and they didn't score.
Yeah.
They threw. It's either interceptions or fumbles or missed hikes or overthrowing the ball, bad snaps. And offense, you can be good, you can be bad. But defense, you have no choice but to be good, because if it's bad defense, then it's going to be high scoring.
Yeah.
There is no bad defense where you cannot score. If you don't score and you say somebody else's defense is bad, then you're delusional.
Right. So I mean, in my opinion, Rock, he gets football. I don't think that he's just purchasing this to be a silent partner. I feel like he's going to be the face of the XFL. I feel like he's going to be the flag waver for it. He's going to be the on-screen Vince McMahon in a way.
I think this
whole
is
thing.
like in a
definitely.
way going to be his redemption from when he tried to play and he got cut.
He was offered
Yeah.
back, by the way.
Yeah, even though he was offered back, think about achieving your dream and you getting out there to be on this team and you get cut. And then they're like, I guess we want you back. A consolation prize? Do you really want it like that?
That's
no.
fair.
You would rather go back and be the owner so that way you can change some things.
Well, okay, but here's my thing. If you I mean, like, okay, first of all, I'm going to be very honest here. The Rock is one of the smartest people I've ever seen in my life. He has turned
Oh, yeah.
every moment of his life into gold. Regardless of if you think he's made the best action movie, regardless of if you think he was needed in Fast and the Furious, he's made money. And he makes money hand over fist.
Oh,
And-
yeah.
And my biggest thing about this whole thing is I look at this and I say to myself, so Willie, being that he's smart, being that he's a great business person, Do you think he just looks at what Vince was doing originally? He saw that it was on the upturn. He saw everything that was good about it, and then obviously it got taken away due to a pandemic. But my question to you is, do you leave it the same, or do you think he should tweak a couple of things? Do you think that should he put his own stamp on it, or do you think he should try and go with the same model? That again, I want to point out, it was a success.
Both.
Okay.
You leave certain things the same because certain things you just don't mess with. You know what I'm saying?
They need to keep it as interactive as it was. I think.
Oh, definitely, yes.
Yeah.
Keep it as interactive as it was. Make it disrespectful. Keep it disrespectful. Let people showboat. Let them show more personality, so that way, you almost start having a heel in football. You know what I'm saying? Like this one guy, every time he makes a tackle, he crawls over to the person and acts like he's a dog, urinates on him. He's gonna become a heel for this team,
and that's the thing.
And everybody's gonna love him.
And that's the thing. Just a quick side note there. You and I, who've both been around football forever, that's not dudes. And again, that's not The Rock trying to manufacture a heel or a babyface. That's just how football players are in between the lines.
That's ego.
Yeah.
That's ego. That's pride. That's talent. That's just an all-over mindset. Some people have a certain mindset on what type of player you are when it comes in. Either when it comes down to being in the trenches, you're a dog. When it comes down to being in the trenches, you're a gorilla. When it comes down to being in the trenches, you're a snake. Because you can slide through, you can break through, or you can outrun and drag everybody.
So just to say something that may be taken the wrong way or not, you're not advocating to show a thuggish side of football. You're advocating to show what I mean. Okay.
No, not
the average
thuggish,
person,
but
the average person looks at one of the common things that I think the NFL, to your point, was trying to take out was that people looked at the showboating and said, these are guys who are trying to act thuggish. But that's just how football players are.
There's nothing thuggish about doing a celebration like.
And I agree with that. No. And I agree
like
with that.
Everybody has their own celebration, and because you don't like it, you label it like this. How many people had an issue with Terrell Davis when he would do a huge game? He does his little showboating. Never said a thing about it. But then when he got in the end zone, after doing something, he did the salute. Nobody said anything about it. Yeah. Let somebody come through and boom, I've sacked you and I'm digging your grave and I'm throwing you on. But that's thuggish.
Fair.
It's
but
it's just your own
description. But that's my point is, and I actually agree with Willie and Leroy, I'm bringing in here in a second. That's my point is, I want the XFL to be what actual football is. We did semi-pro football, and they tried to put a muzzle on us. It didn't necessarily work that well.
It made it worse.
Yeah, but that's my point. Is I
like feeding a goldfish a stick of dynamite and telling them shh.
Pretty much. But that's just my point. Is Leroy, do you want to see? And again, okay, when you're on Fox and you say old school Smash Mouth football, I don't want to see Ray Lewis beating someone. I want to see dudes who are themselves in between the lines. You can shake hands when it's over, but as long as that clock's turning, you don't like that person. That's basically what I'm advocating.
You know what? When you say old school Smash Mouth football, two things come to mind. The Raiders and the Purple People Eaters.
Yep.
That's all I can think of, because you say Smash Mouth, I'm thinking club tackles. Not where it's not a horse collar, it's not a clothesline. It's I'm going to reach over your shoulder and I am going to club you in the chest with my forearm, and it's basically like a rock bottom tackle from behind.
Yeah.
With my elbow.
Exactly. Leroy, your thoughts whether on the on-field product or the business side of the XFL coming back? Because I'm excited.
I do. I'm excited too. And I hope The Rock keeps everything, and add his little twist that he has. I mean, I watched, his show, The Titan Games.
Yeah.
That's very entertaining. He's just there. His face is there, and that's it. And all the other people.
And that's my point.
But that's good. I mean, he can do that,
right.
and he can do that with the XFL.
Yeah.
And just keep it the same way it was, and it will work.
And that's the thing. I know I'm going to be talking about two like black entertainers here, but Brandy Rhodes from AEW, in my opinion, she is trying to become a wrestler as a vanity project, but I don't see The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, this isn't him trying to be a football player again. Willie said he does want to sort of be he does sort of want some retribution for what happened, but he's not trying to be a football player. He's trying to say, this is a great business opportunity and something that I do understand. But but like you said with the Titan games, he's not going to be focusing on, I'm The Rock. This isn't Dwayne's show. I'm the owner. I'm going to get you hyped up. But when the game, like as soon as the ball is kicked, it's about the 22 guys on the field.
Yeah.
And that's
what
where
he's going to do.
And that's my problem with Brandy Rhodes is like she's tried to be the nightmare gimmick 4 times in Spot Monkey, right? And now she's trying to again and again. And every time she does it, the fans just are like, look, we like AEW, we like you, we like your husband, but get off my damn TV. Yeah, that's basically how she is.
Just being a dead horse.
Get off the stage, you freak.
But thank you. But I feel like But I feel like Dwayne is not going to make this into a vanity project. Willie may have said this is sort of retribution, but he's going to be smart about that.
Yeah, and the reason I say retribution is because he got cut. He had the ability to be a monster in the game. Like, think about it.
He's a creative Madden player. He's a creative Madden player.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. Take his physique and his work ethic. Put him at damn near any position. Who would you pick from the NFL to stop him? The only person that I could think about to take him up against, Ndamukong Suh, just because he's going to do what it takes. He's going to play dirty, but he's going to do his damnedest to stop him. But at the same time, what the hell are you going to do when this man basically can bench press, curl, squat, and run you in the ground?
Right. And that's just my thing is I don't see it being a vanity project. I see The Rock wanting to make a successful football league. It's already been reported that I think the sale is now finalized, but I think that they're trying to like sue and stop it because they think that, oh, this is Vince trying to get back to the back to the XFL, even though he lost it the first time. But The Rock and Vince haven't really been business partners, well, ever, but Rock hasn't really been involved with. Okay, Rock is the typical comes back once in a while, gets the big pop, but Rock's not a consistent competitor for that. This isn't the Vince trying to slither his way back to the XFL. This is Dwayne being Dwayne. This is Dwayne's project. I don't think Vince will be involved, and I don't think you need to look at Rock going because again, this is Dwayne Johnson, not The Rock. If The Rock wants to go to Monday Night Raw, that's one thing. His daughter currently works for WWE. That's one thing. But I think when you get the XFL, you're going to... Now, yes, they're going to say The Rock because that's his persona. But he's going to be Dwayne. He's going to be Dwayne Johnson, not The Rock.
Yeah, and Titan, they use all of that. Dwayne, they call Rock, whatever. He uses it, on NBC,
when you've got
which
something
is fine.
that made you a star, you stick with it. You don't walk away from it.
Yeah.
But I don't think this is going to be a situation where Vince is all of a sudden going to be back running it secretly. I don't see that at all.
No, I don't see that.
No, he's
Vince, I think, is done. I don't think he wants to try it again. He sees WWE having some rating issues. He wants to go back and fix that. He knows he doesn't need to mess with the XFL anymore. But I like it. I hope they can get up soon. And in my opinion, let the XFL be what it was. Let the fans be who they were. I love the beer snakes. That was the best part about the whole game, in my opinion. But the game was good. The players were good. And again, Vince fixed the only problem he had the first time around. He got real football players.
Yep,
he did.
He got real guys who were either trying to get back in the league. Because I think a bunch of XFL dudes got, camp invites.
Yeah, a lot of them did.
Vikings got a couple of them.
Yeah, one of the most recent ones that was taken from the XFL was a quarterback from Houston. He got picked up, and I think he went to the Carolina.
Was that the
Panthers.
Roughnecks quarterback, or was he
I think so, yeah.
Yep. Didn't he go to the Carolina Panthers?
He did, yeah.
Yeah.
And he was good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He was really good.
It was weird because he had a wicked little sidearm.
Oh yeah. But that's the thing is that I look at this and I go back and analyze the XFL games. This isn't analyzing our semi-pro games, which at times looked a little backyardish, but that was kind of a little fair. But that was kind of some of the allure that got us to it. But it was polished. You can take tape of an XFL game of you, and you can send that to an NFL team, and I think an NFL team's actually going to believe that you're capable of coming to their team.
See, I know you're not wrong with that statement just because for the simple fact of football, they're going to look at your overall talent. They're going to look at what's you're rusty on. Where did you miss your assignments? Where did you fall short? That's the first thing they want to see is where did you fall short? Because if I have to bring you in here and completely rebuild you, are you really worth rebuilding? What do you have that's going to redeem your shortcomings?
And this might be kind of a more sports versus wrestling argument, but here's the deal. Football is that sport where, especially in the NFL, it's the only league in the world where you need to be good at something. We're not going to teach you everything. You need to already have a specialty nailed before we bring you in. We can polish you, but if you ain't already a raw talent, you ain't.
If all you have is speed, I don't know if I know I don't want you on my team.
You can't teach speed.
All you have is speed. I don't want you on my team. Yeah, you can't teach speed, but where am I going to put you? Then I got to teach you how to tackle. I got to teach you how to catch. I have to teach you how to cover. There's so many things I have to spend time teaching you. You walk in. Just because you can talk doesn't mean you're an Einstein genius. It's just how fast are you?
Right.
Does this speed make you redeemable? Because I can understand if you came in and like you can dust like what was his name? Julio Jones.
Yeah.
Or
but Julio's never been the fastest guy. Julio's just about making sure he catches the ball. Julio don't care about speed.
Yeah, but Julio was fast as hell. So
true.
Is your redeemable quality that Julio can't keep up with you from start to finish? Can you dust him out the blocks no matter what? Give him a 5-yard head start and you're still going to smoke him by 15 yards?
Yeah.
That right there, that's something that's redeemable no matter what from every team. They will work with you all day, every day, all night, every night, just to make sure. Even if they have to start you off doing little shovel passes where it looks like you're running back from a pistol set.
Right.
They're going to get you the ball and you're going to blast past some people.
And that's my biggest thing is what I loved about the XFL to begin with was most of the NFL are not the Ray Lewises of the world. They're not the Larry Fitzgeralds. They don't have $100 million contracts. Most of the NFL, these guys walk away. All right, as soon as the Super Bowl's over, that's the end of the league year. These guys are no longer contracted. Now they can go into the XFL draft. They can play football for 2 months, and then it ends right before camp opens. You can then send the stuff. I mean, what's the statistic? Like 80% of the NFL, all the starters, 80% of them are like undrafted or something like that. It's a large percentage of the NFL.
Yeah.
Most of the NFL is not drafted. They're just
like a lot of the ones that go from the draft are usually like quarterbacks,
right,
or like specialties like left ends, right ends, tackles.
But that's my thing is that you guys can go play football damn near 12 months out of the year. You can go get paid by the XFL, which is probably just enough money to get you until that NFL contract, but it allows you to play consistently. You don't have to worry about, oh, I didn't make the NFL squad, I can go to the XFL. But then if you do well, because again, I feel like every year you're going to see probably break it down every year. If the XFL lasts 5 years, I guarantee you the top 3 guys at every position in the XFL, the top 3 guys are all going to get camp visits. I guarantee you.
Definitely.
As soon as those contracts are up, they're going to get camp calls.
You know how I see it? I think when the XFL finally pops, it's going to see so many people from college that didn't enter the draft. A lot of people that weren't able to do walk-ons, and it's going to bring in so much hidden, unfiltered, unpolished talent, and you're just going to see them just like turn pieces of coal into diamonds left and right. And then that's when the money's really going to kick in, because I can see him making it, oh, well, y'all want one of my players from the XFL? What you going to do for salary?
Well, but they're not contracted as soon as the season's over.
No, I mean, like, he can make it to where there is a clause in there that if you want one of my players, you have to buy them out of the contract.
Right.
Not only are they going to get a surplus of money,
so developmental, but not
because you're taking something out of my pocket.
So developmental idea, but not a direct developmental team.
Exactly.
Okay. And that's just my thing is you're gonna see. And okay, so what you're saying is, Willie, they're going to start to pop in the sense that right now, what made the XFL this year was they had a lot of guys' names that you knew, because obviously that's what sold tickets to begin with. It was guys who had shots in the NFL. Now they're coming back for another chance. But what you're saying is, and I'm asking, you're saying that they're going to become a league where they're going to start building their own talent.
This is almost going to be like post-college, well, not really, almost like an internship.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
all right,
Oh, yeah.
I did really good in college ball. I was a monster in college ball, but I didn't have all of those things that I needed.
Because there's
I
real
needed
coaches
a little
in
bit
the
more
XFL too.
fine-tuning.
There's real
I needed
coaches.
a little bit more training. I needed a little bit more time to fully develop and reach my peak.
Right.
So all those players that didn't peak in college when they played all 4 years, this is your chance to play a couple more rounds.
And
You know
by
what I'm saying? You could run that 2 years in the XFL
And by the way-
then peak and jump.
And by the way, the average NFL career is like what, 2.5 seasons now?
3.
3? Is it 3? Okay.
I think it's 3. Yeah.
So that's my thing. What Willie's saying is you can turn around, you can play 2 years in the XFL, and then you can pop in the NFL for 3 years.
You
maybe
can do a walk-on.
Yeah.
You got all of this fine-tuning and all of this updated training. You know more things. You've got your techniques down. You've had so much time.
And they're not limited to the NFL now.
Exactly. You've had time to practice and hone your skills and your talent and put it into use.
Right.
It's not all practice. You can actually do live drills and know how to react to a defender's moves. So if he kick steps,
Yeah.
I know how to react.
Right.
I know how to pull this guard. I know how to wash this man out and take a nose guard with him.
Yeah.
I know how to drop this center and then drag him where I want and open this hole up. Or I know how to get this defensive man off his heels. I know how to make him rock.
Right.
I know how to get him off his stance, and it's something that you don't always get a chance to do in college. Because in college, you got to think how much money they make off of these people. So when they making all of this money off of these kids, there's only certain ones that's going to go on TV. Everybody gets a jersey, but everybody don't get playtime.
Well, they sold Reggie Bush's jersey, and Reggie never saw a dime of it.
Exactly.
USC made more money off of Reggie Bush's jersey than Reggie Bush ever made off USC.
Like the biggest con artist in all of NFL and all of sports history has been the NCAA, because for years they have sold jerseys, video games, likeness rights to EA Sports, NCAA, and all the other different places that have had anything to do with sports.
Right.
These kids that had to bust their ass day in and day out from start to finish and get their education never saw a dime. These people are wearing sweatpants every day because that's the cheapest thing that they can get, and it's the easiest to wash.
Right.
You walking around and stuff like that wearing team memorabilia so that way you don't have to spend your hard-earned money on your clothes, because you need food and you need a way to be able to make all the other things that you have to have.
So you see it as an opportunity for guys to make something out of their playing
Exactly.
careers.
Instead of you just getting shafted all through college, this is a chance for you to build your name
So
up the
5
way
years
it was in college.
So 5
Yeah.
years of not getting paid in college turns into possibly 2 years of decent pay in the XFL, possibly popping off with 3 years of NFL money, and then you got a
start
chance.
off and then you jump to the XFL making possibly 4 to 5 figures. You go from there and then you go into where you're making almost 6 figures in the NFL.
Yeah.
Because how do you think it would go from being broke in college to making 10 to 12,000 every couple of games?
I think their contracts were almost like 20 grand.
Something like that. Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
All right, you go from making 20 grand to being a third string on a team making 400,000 a year.
And that's the thing. People don't realize the third string guy in the NFL is a starter probably in the XFL a lot of times, but they're getting paid like 10 times more.
Exactly. I've always looked at it from like this. I'm cool being on the team. I've never had to be a star, because I know one thing is for sure. If I was to make it and I get put on the team and I'm sitting on the bench, I'm making a couple $100,000 a year, and I ain't seen the football field besides to walk out and do my daily stretches.
And as much as you love football, you
Pay me and sit me down.
That's basically it, yeah.
Put it in my pocket and pass me a bottle of water. I'm going to cheer you on. I'm going to be one of the best suited up cheerleaders on my team.
Right.
But I'm going to have that money coming in.
So basically, based on this conversation, let me ask you: are you more excited that it's The Rock, or are you just more excited that it's back and that it's going to have a real chance?
It's back and it's got a real chance because
if this pandemic thing basically gets solved, if Rock keeps it the same, put it in those off months. Don't try to compete, because you ain't never going to get fall scheduling with the NFL.
You're never going to get fall scheduling with the NFL, but you got to think about it. Something else that it slipped my mind, but look at Madden.
Yeah.
Madden used to get a run for their money from 2K. Madden has always charged anywhere from $50 to almost $80 per video game.
Sure.
So you're making billions hand over fist from one video game. And EA Sports came out with the same game for $20. And this game gave Madden a run for its
2K.
money to the point. Yeah, 2K.
You said EA, so
I mean, ESPN, 2K. Yeah.
Yeah.
But when they came out, they did something that was so drastic. We're going to put this game out. Not only is our game going to compete with yours with graphics and the playability, but we're also going to make it to where you can buy 5 of our game and 1 of yours.
Right.
So 1, boom, price.
Yeah.
That was a big kick in the balls.
Right.
2, playability. And then they brought in that in the helmet cam. When they brought out that in the helmet cam, that killed Madden. Madden was so pissed that they got blasted by 2K.
Right.
2K blasted them in sales by, I think, almost like a couple billion.
I think it was in that range. Yeah.
Something like
A
that.
couple billion.
Yeah.
They did Madden so bad that they went and shoveled out all the money and paid billions of dollars to buy out the exclusive rights to the NFL. How do you know that that's not going to be the same thing that 2K can come back and do with the XFL? 2K present XFL, bigger,
Yeah, 'cause-
better, harder hits.
Yeah, because EA is not
Everybody's
going to
gonna
run
run
the
with
XFL
that.
and the NFL.
No, they're not.
EA ain't gonna run with that because EA stopped making NCAA stuff.
Sure.
So how you know that 989 ain't gonna come back and then boom, I'm gonna take this. So Rock is going to, we're gonna start it out where it's him on the cover
Of course.
in a business suit, and you got one person from each team suited up in a jersey
And that
ready
makes,
to play.
But that's a smart business from the beginning. But then once you build stars who are stars for your league and not the NFL,
Exactly.
and that's my thing is that but no.
It's not just gonna be like, oh well, I've got a big name. I got talent to back up with my name.
And here's my thing that I think you're getting at here is that he's not going to try to go to September, October, November ratings. He's going to stay in March, April. Now here's the thing. Let's say there's a guy in the XFL, he's the MVP. But he's only good enough to be a backup in the NFL. Hold on. To quote off what Willie said, he goes, he sits, he makes a ton of money, but then he comes back after the NFL season's over, and then he goes back to being a mega
superstar.
Yeah.
Because you're out here and you've got the highest quality, the highest caliber, the newest technology when it comes to training, when it comes to keeping your body in shape. They say what? Tom Brady goes to that one personal trainer, pays almost $40 million
Alex
for the
Guerrero,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. You paying this man $40 million to take care of your arms, legs, knees, shoulders, and back. You go to the NFL, you get this exact same type of treatment, and you go back to the XFL where they don't have that type of stuff yet because it's not that big.
Yeah.
You're gonna be a breakout all-star. It's gonna be like you're a first-year rookie stamina against people that are going downhill.
Right.
You're not gonna have any type of competition too much because you're going to be able to come in at 200%.
Yeah.
You're feeling bigger, better, faster, stronger. You haven't lost a step, and all you've added is more ammo to your arsenal.
And not only that, when you go to the NFL, people forget some of these position coaches, whether they ever played or not. Because I've literally seen an offensive line coach be like 5'2", but he knows more about offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah, dude from what was that? The Thunder.
Yeah.
He was short as shit, but he knew his stuff.
And that's my whole thing, is that you're going to also go to the NFL for that 1 year, and even if you don't see the field, you're going to get that coaching room experience. You're going to learn from guys who have been around some of the greatest NFL. Because remember, Andy Reid's,
even after that
Andy
still
Reid's
can
coaching
solidify you a spot because, all right, I played here, and then I went to the NFL. I sat on the bench. I got maybe total
20 snaps,
30 minutes
20,
of
yeah.
30 minutes of playing time in a 3-year time span, but I know the ins and outs of all of this. I can make your line the best line in the league. Boom. You got an offensive head coach job.
So
you got an offensive line job.
So if anything, this is also Rock. And again, right now it's a business decision.
Oh yeah,
But-
it's a business
but-
decision, but
but
it still has so many different aspects
Rock,
they can branch out to.
Rock is almost creating a future for these guys where you don't have to. Okay, the biggest joke in the NFL is always when you're done with your career, you go get your real estate license. But now, The Rock says, The Rock says.
The Rock says.
The Rock says.
Dwayne is basically saying, go play, go get knowledge, but then when you're done, if you don't want to play anymore, come coach in the XFL.
That's a possibility. This is all speculation.
Yes, yeah. It's all but that's the thing. But again, this is what Rock does. He gets a small opportunity for $15 million. He got an entire league for $15 million.
You take something so small and you build the Amazon rainforest from an aloe vera plant.
All I'm saying is this: I will put money down right now that he will that if it goes this way, he will not only make that $15 million back by the end of next year, he'll have tripled, maybe quadrupled that over the next 12 years.
That's not even a question.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he definitely
That's
will.
definitely not even a question, because with that being said, you can only imagine the other types of directions he could be going, because you got to look. When it comes to him, he is so business-minded and smart with everything he's done, because look, he's done pro wrestling.
Yes.
He's done pro ball. Now he's back to owning pro ball. Then, if he wants to, he can go back to the movies. How many genres of movies has he done? He's done action. He's done comedy. He can do drama. He can actually even do a horror film.
He can, yeah.
He actually did. He actually kind of did. It was like a comedy drama / horror. There was Doom, and then there was the Scorpion King, where he turned into the big ass scorpion thing.
The Mummy, basically.
Yeah, the Mummy. That's what it was.
Yeah.
So he's cornered the market on acting. You've done everything that there is to do. The only thing you haven't done yet is like some weird French film.
Fair.
So from there, boom, that's 2 genres. So down the drain. Two experiences, and there's so much
with
more
where we are in the world right now. Let me ask you this: what does this mean for something like, let's say, Black Lives Matter? In that he is not necessarily the on paper owner, but he is going to be the face of a pro sports league as a he is an African American. I mean,
that's going to do so much more. It's not going to really do too much for the adults, but that's a bigger picture for the kids.
I'm not saying it's going to have as much impact.
You have to look at it like
LeBron
with these. Like he's going to do so much more for self-esteem,
right?
Just from being there, because that's going to increase the dreams and aspirations. You don't have to be an actor. You don't have to be a team player. You don't have to be an all-star. You can be the owner,
right?
You don't have to break your back to play for these teams. You can own the league where people pay to be one of the teams in your league.
Right.
People pay you to get on your field, to wear your logo, to be a part of your foundation.
That's the thing. If you're the investment group that bought it, you ain't ever gonna cut Dwayne Johnson out of any deal. He is your face.
Oh yeah.
There is no doubt about that.
After that, like, all you gotta do is kick your feet up and hand him the keys and like, do what you do.
So
stand out there and smile.
You don't have to stand out there. It's like,
well, no, he's
just
a Rock.
This is the one time. You don't even have to stand up. This is the one time where, as long as you got your job done, you know you can ride on this man's coattail into the sun, and you will come out unscathed.
Does this solidify Rock as one of those truly American stories?
No.
Does it solidify him yet, or do you think he's not done?
He's not done. He's nowhere close to done, because what you're looking at right now.
Well, that's his attitude. Number one is that he's never.
That's just another page in this giant memoir that he's writing. So once he's done with everything, he's gonna have where, boom, he's already got his daughter, WWE. You left a legacy there.
Yeah.
Boom, you got something here with the XFL. You left a legacy there. Boom, you got these movies. You're gonna have something here, so you left another legacy there. You're gonna have another piece of you, and there's gonna be your fingerprints on everything. So there's gonna be nothing that you can do.
I don't want to get too sentimental.
Or say without having a piece of him in it.
I don't want to get too sentimental. I don't want to get crying, but is this the closest you think that there's left to Kobe? Do you think that this is a Mamba mentality type situation? Because Dwayne is never satisfied. Hollywood, he conquered it. Wrestling conquered it. Football, next venture.
Kobe, the Mamba mentality, the way I took it was, do it to death. I'm going to be the best at everything I'm doing, when I do it, how I do it, whatever it is that I'm doing, I am going to make it the best. So no, this is not the last of the Mamba mentality. Okay. This is him, in my opinion. This is his version of it moving forward in his direction.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's going to be going like that with so many different people that decide to branch out, or the people that do things to the best of their ability, and they make it to the point where you're no longer one of the stars. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're the director. Your name doesn't even have to show up on the credits because you're the company that put the movie out.
And that's just it. The one thing you never see in the credits is the name of people that own Universal or own Lionsgate.
You see my logo. I am no longer a name. I am a logo. I am the Nike swoosh.
Yes.
I am the Adidas stripes.
Right.
Like, you see those, there is no doubt in your mind of what it could be or what that
So
may
the letters
come from.
XFL are going to stand for Dwayne Johnson.
That will become synonymous with who he is unless he decides to take and put that tattoo, that Brahma Bull,
Yeah.
his original.
Yeah.
He's becoming a logo.
Right.
Because Kobe, you see his, that's a logo.
Yeah.
Yes.
You cannot mistake that. Nowhere you see it. That's a logo. Kobe evolved past the 3 stripes.
He did. Yeah.
Jordan evolved past the swoosh.
He did.
You know what I'm saying? Like, these are names of people where you don't associate them with their starting. You associate them with their own creations. You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
And it was a creation through this company, but this company, yeah, y'all come back seat. This is my name. They know me. Not like, oh, did you see the new Adidas that put out Kobe? No. Did you see the new Kobe's?
Yeah.
Because Nike is a company that makes Jordans. Adidas is the company that makes Kobe's. But they don't say, hey, did you see the new Adidas?
Right.
Did you see the new? No. They go for your logo. They go for your name. They go for your project. So
what you're saying
the company is
XFL
is a stepping stone to his logo.
So what you're saying is he doesn't quote unquote do things to death. He does things to a point and then he keeps building the brand. That is Dwayne, not XFL.
When I say do it to death, I mean do it to the best of your abilities.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Do it until you feel like you have accomplished what you need to accomplish and you can move on into your next venture.
And that's the other thing about Dwayne is the type of scenario where it's almost the Logan effect, going back to when Logan the movie came out and and Hugh Jackman, because you remember at that time Hugh Jackman was sort of like the top thing. Hugh Jackman was like this amazing. I mean, like Wolverine was still huge when Logan came out, but he decided to just end it. He decided, we're done. This is the end.
He took his destiny into his own hands, and he didn't let them run it in the ground like they did with other movies.
But that's what I'm saying with Rock, is that Rock has never done something to where all of a sudden you think, okay, he's done, get out. He's always done something. He's reached the peak, and then he's done. He's an action star, and now he's the owner of a football league. But he's not done being an action star.
And then he went to be a comedian.
Yeah.
Like, he went to be a comedian, and then he went from there. And then he even branched out and started doing Disney movies. Like, you make a movie with Disney and they get you to be something, there's no coming back from that.
Oh, no.
This is not a slur. This is not mean. This is not anything racially. When you make Disney money, you've made it in life. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
when Disney starts paying you, that's something, folks.
Look, I'll put it
Definitely.
this way. Disney went as far as, all right, well, we got all of these. We've got this movie, we got this movie, we got this movie, we got this movie. They went as far as to be like, all right, you know what? We're going to jump out and start doing more, ethnically based movies from different groups. We're going to hit the different genres now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So with the Moana movie, do you think like he was like, oh, I want to be in this? Or do you think, oh, nah, we got to have him?
Typecast is what you're saying. He was typecasted.
Exactly.
He was going to be in no matter what.
We want you. You're going to be here. We're going to give you an offer you can't refuse. That don't mean if you don't take this movie, we going to break your legs. No, we going to pay you to the point where if you get tired of standing in this booth, we can get some people to hold you in mid-air while you read.
Right.
Well, it's kind of a movie and a part that was made for him.
Exactly. Like, it was made for you. They built the character's physique and everything based off of who you are.
And I still think the best thing about that is little girl listens to that, hears him singing,
She
Is
doesn't
that
even know
daddy?
It's, she doesn't even know
Is
it's
that
him.
daddy? No, that's
She
not
doesn't even know
daddy.
it's him.
She totally is. Says,
His
no, that's
dying
not dad.
wish. His dying wish is to get his youngest daughter to be like, "That's actually my father."
It's like, no, he's
That's
not
his
daddy.
dying wish right now. It's to basically like, "Is that dad? No, shut up."
I'd be the same way. That is me. No, that's not you, daddy. Yes, it is.
Is this?
So
who is this man?
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. I actually didn't think that was gonna be a topic as big as it was, but I want to say, going back to our African American, female show, this, in my opinion, like I said, I'm not trying to make it into that, but I'm just saying, if you can look at The Rock and if you hear his story about how they got evicted from the home. I mean, everyone knows. I mean, everyone in wrestling knows Rock's story before he got to be Rocky Maivia. But now people from another genre, from another sport, they're gonna go look at Rock's story and be like, okay, you see him. All right, the XFL got bought by Dwayne The Rock Johnson, but Dwayne The Rock Johnson was Rocky Maivia when he first debuted, and now it's like, oh, like Willie said. That's a success story. You can go from being a guy who's the next guy on the chopping block to all of a sudden you own the damn show.
Shit, you own the chopping block.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you want to know something? A lot of people overlook this. Like, yeah, he did start out as Rocky Maivia, but how hard do you think it was for him to break from the Maivia name to become just The Rock?
Oh, he loves his grandfather.
Oh, yeah.
The great High Chief Peter Maivia.
I mean,
exactly. You
and
love your
that's where
grandfather,
you-
but how do you think it feels for you to be able to break from it and you didn't take anything from it? You didn't have to, like, crawl out
he's
of
his
their
own brand.
shadow.
Oh,
you
he's
made
his own brand. You
made another version
He's
of
not
something.
he's not the soul man Rocky Johnson, his father. He's not the great High Chief Peter Maivia. He is The Rock. He is he is a brand in and of himself. And I think what Willie's getting at is you can make your own mark. It doesn't matter if you start with the family moniker, but you can make yourself into a soul, as Willie has put it, logo. You can make yourself into something.
Well, he stated that in Fighting with My Family when Paige and his brother was, hey, they want to be just like him. He's like, no, be the best you out there, not another copy of me.
And like Willie said, he is the prime example. I don't ever think, and I hate to say it, I do because I'm a wrestling fan, but I don't think of the great High Chief Peter Maivia or
You don't associate with his family when it comes to him being referred to.
And by the way, I think that's what he's going to teach his daughter when she finally hits the main roster.
Like when she starts hitting the mat, build your name.
Oh yeah,
be your logo. Don't run off my name. Don't live off mine.
If it gets you an opportunity, there's nothing wrong with that.
Take that opportunity and capitalize
in life.
Oh yeah.
Okay. This is not necessarily wrestling or sports. This is how I believe life is. If life gives you an opportunity, it's about, okay, cool. What's the next opportunity? But you take every opportunity and you make the best out of it. And life is about, okay, I got an opportunity. That's cool. Oh, life's giving me another one. I'm gonna take that too. She is in the WWE Performance Center at 16 years old because Dwayne has made Vince more money than probably anybody outside of maybe Austin.
Yep, definitely.
And she'd be stupid not to go train at the Performance Center.
Yeah, even if you're not gonna hit the mat at that young of an age, start your training.
Exactly.
Get your knowledge so that way you come out and then you blast off, and as soon as you hit the bricks, it's like, whoa, she's got her technique.
But
she's got her movements. But
I don't think even if she goes as Simone Johnson for the rest of her career, I foresee her. And again, I don't know anything about her because no one's seen her on TV. She has yet to have a televised match. I'm pointing that out. But I see her, if she has the mentality of her dad, or if her dad forces that mentality of being, here's the deal. You do you, even if your name is Simone Johnson for the rest of your career, no one will ever associate Simone Johnson with The Rock. It's just going to be Simone Johnson.
Yep.
And
that's the whole thing. Like, just because she's his daughter doesn't mean she's going to go off of his name. She could go off his dad's name or his grandpa's or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And she could take all of those and further the legacy. Not necessarily trying to walk in the shoes, but hey, I'm like him, and I'm going to show you what we still got.
And that's what I think Dwayne did was, because again, I don't associate him with, because honestly, call me crazy, you've watched The Rock in the Attitude Era, you've watched The Rock, I've done that. I don't see the athleticism that Rocky Johnson had in Dwayne's performance. It's a totally different. Rock's like Rock's more of a brawler. He's more of a stiff kind of competitor. Rocky Johnson was like
Fluid.
oh god, loved watching Rocky Johnson matches.
Water.
And so like that's my whole thing is that I love the topic and I'm excited about the XFL.
I'm excited to see what happens with this kid too.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's gonna be great. And here's the thing: to the people that are trying to say Vince is involved, dude, Rock ain't been in business with Vince for 15, 20 years.
Even if Vince is involved, it's not his name that's on the title.
It's Dwayne.
Exactly. Yep. Vince could be a silent partner in there, and the key word of that, silent. He can give his opinion silently.
Yeah, we will definitely have to delve into this again, following up when it gets closer to.
We're gonna have to come back onto this subject too.
Oh yeah, definitely. When we get.
So we're actually gonna switch a little topics here than what Leroy's got here. Moving forward here. So now going back to actual wrestling. So ratings have been a big thing in wrestling recently.
Oh yeah.
We talk about them every week with NXT and AEW, but now Spot Monkey, thank you.
No, they don't even get that when we call them Mott Spunky.
Okay. Mott Spunky Wrestling. I look at what's recently happened in the last week, and surprisingly, Raw and SmackDown actually had upturns in ratings with two very large things going on. One was the Raw Underground, which I still don't know how to think about it. But again, I'm a long-term guy. Give me a couple weeks of this. Also, by the way, Willie, something that I didn't tell you about Raw Underground off camera was it ended with the Hurt Business, MVP Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin, basically whooping everybody's ass and throwing them out of Raw Underground. Really? They stood tall at the end of Raw Underground because they'd had a bad night on actual Raw.
I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not really a fan of either of theirs.
All three of them?
Bobby Lashley? Yeah.
But,
the other two, not really?
No, not really.
Nothing. Yeah. MVP actually reportedly has signed a multi-year deal with WWE now.
Yeah.
He's actually now signed back to WWE. Shelton Benjamin, I think, has always been one of the best pure athletic guys. The problem with me is I've never seen Shelton have enough personality to move past, you're just a great in-ring talent.
Ding.
That's about it with him, yeah.
You're a stand-in with lyrics.
Shelton can Shelton can out-wrestle anybody. Shelton can get in the ring with Brock Lesnar and remember, Shelton Benjamin, I think, was an assistant coach when Brock was a freshman at the University of Minnesota. They were roommates at the University of Minnesota.
No, I thought he wrestled with Brock, and then
he did,
he was.
But
he was ahead of Brock.
I think he was I think he might have been like a student coach type.
Something like that, maybe.
Situation.
Yeah.
But all I know is that Shelton Benjamin, I love him in terms of in-ring. He's had great in-ring stuff, but I've never really known him to be a guy that could talk his way out of a situation. He's never been able to sell tickets on his voice alone. He's a secondary guy. That's just who he is.
He doesn't have the charisma.
And the thing is, that's not a black comment because you look at MVP who can talk, but MVP can't necessarily wrestle to the level of Shelton Benjamin. But then you got Bobby, who is another example of can wrestle, doesn't need to talk because Bobby is an otherworldly, athleticism.
Yes.
But then you've got Rock, who had to talk and wrestle his way out of a scenario.
And he could do both.
But the thing is that you've put two wrestlers, Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin, with a talker in MVP, and you've created something that I think has worked. I'm interested to see if they're still involved with Raw Underground, because again, when they left the show, they were standing in the Raw Underground ring, and everybody else had ran off because they basically threw everybody out.
You know what I'm thinking?
Yeah.
You know how they have the New Day, right?
Well, not right now.
Well,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know how they have the New Day and everybody's got their own personality?
Yeah.
That could be what they're trying to do with this group. They could be making it the same way, but this time, instead of like that, this is more athletic. It's not as much showmanship.
Right.
It's more, I'm going to talk for everybody. I'm going to be the one that writes checks where everybody else's ass has to cash them.
Right.
I'm gonna talk to Smack, and my teammates are going to lay it down for lack of a better expression.
Right.
Then they can build it like that.
It's the old idea. It's the old idea that MVP's the founder of the Hurt Business, but Bobby Lashley is the CEO of the Hurt Business. Bobby Lashley is going to be the one in the meetings, in this case, beating people up, and MVP is going to be the one that cashes the check because he's going to talk.
It's going to be a fair Torah situation.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat reference.
Yeah. By the way, love how they've presented themselves. People have talked for years, black wrestlers have always kind of come off a certain way. They have been presented fantastically as just competitors, as wrestlers, as any faction. They have been made to look good, strong. They've had down nights, but they've never looked like
quitters.
Thank you. And that's and call me crazy, but I think a lot of black wrestlers have been made to look somewhat quittish. I think that's how the fans have looked at it.
No.
I'm not saying no.
No, I don't agree with that because, if you look at it, look how many times Booker T lost matches. Look how many times he got his ass handed to him, but he still.
Well, but I'm not talking about Booker, who
no,
is
I'm just saying
a 5-time champion.
No, I'm just saying black wrestlers. You know what I'm saying? Like Bobby Lashley has been smacked around more times than you can remember.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Kofi Kingston was a soccer ball for how long?
True.
Oh, yep.
And so on and so forth, and they're still there, and they're still just as good, just as hungry.
So is this back to the argument of whether you're black, white, Latino, otherwise?
It's all about your work ethic.
Thank you. Okay. So yeah, that's kind of where I was going. Is that at the end of the day, you're willing to take my question to you is, do you think it's burnout from what the fans are trying to tell you, or it's a burnout from personal? Do you just think a lot of black wrestlers didn't reach peaks because they didn't have the work ethic, and that was a personal thing, not a racial thing?
Nah, not always. And some of them didn't reach their peak because they didn't have all the things they needed for marketability. Some people you had the athleticism.
And that wasn't the promoter's fault. That was just who they are as people.
Exactly. They couldn't come up with the right gimmick for this person to make them pop. You're not poppable. You're just that one kernel. You're not gonna cook.
Right.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Some people don't develop. Some people hit puberty. Not you, squeaky voice McGee. You're not gonna make it.
Fair.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be a falsetto. You're never gonna be the bass.
Well, this is going back to what I was saying. I'm not saying that Shelton can't peak because he's black. I'm saying Shelton can't peak because he's never had a personality.
Exactly.
I'm not saying that MVP can't wrestle because he was black. He's just a better talker than he is a wrestler. I've never associated him with being a wrestler. He was always, when he talked, I either hated him or liked him based on what he was trying to present to me.
Exactly. So he can be a tag team partner where he can be the mouth and he can be the heel, and then his team will be the super save-out.
We all can't be, obviously, Rock, and I think modern day we all can't be.
Everybody can't be a superstar. Some people,
regardless of religion, creed, race, doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Everybody in the world cannot be a superstar. Not everybody in the world can be a captain, because if you're a captain and he's a captain and he's a captain, who do you have on your team?
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah.
You cannot make a team if everybody's a captain. Some people got to fall in line. Some people got to be at the top of the totem pole. Some people got to be at the bottom.
Yeah. And by the way, just because we're sort of on the coattails of time-wise of the most recent, can I say incarnation of Black Lives Matter, I guess is what's been happening. It's the most recent incarnation of it. Is there?
No, it's not really an incarnation. It's more of a, almost like a situationship.
Okay, yeah. So,
okay.
But
all right.
But what I'm saying is that I'm not saying that Raw has had more black talent because of that. I'm saying I love the fact that recently you've had R-Truth, Shelton Benjamin, Bobby Lashley, MVP, Ricochet, Apollo Crews, and Cedric Alexander. They're all getting legitimate TV time, and I don't think it's because of the recent Black Lives Matter. It's because they're the only guys that are there, number one, and number two, these have always been talented guys, but they're finally getting a chance to show what they got.
After you work for so long, you always get your time to shine. You're always on the payroll. You're always on the go.
And back to your football argument, sometimes it is just about being on the payroll long enough to get that one snap that makes you a legend, makes you a hero.
Exactly. I played for how long, and I got one touchdown. Never been on offense.
Yeah.
I got touchdown on like an onside kick.
Yeah.
I was only on special teams for a couple of times.
Right.
The only time I've ever gotten an onside kick. And the one that I get, I take a touchdown in. What are the odds? You work and you work and you work and you work and you work, and then you get your moment. So in that moment, it all depends on you, your work ethic, and your skill. Either you're gonna make it or you're not.
So if I can get a little hypothetical and a little bit harsh here for a second, let's say for a moment they were given those slots because of the movement, because they're African American. What you're saying is that when that whole thing kind of calms down, you're gonna still be there if you shine. You still have to shine. It doesn't matter how you were put there. You still have to shine. Is what you're saying.
You were put in this position
For whatever reason.
do the job.
Yeah.
Do the job to the best of your ability. If they want you to win in the best fashion that you can. If they want you to lose, go out like a supernova. Make it the biggest,
And
brightest
that's
failure possible.
And okay, this isn't even on our list today, but I want to focus on that for a second. He brings up the best point I think that people don't get in wrestling. The biggest BS I've heard in wrestling over the last year is, AJ Styles lost one match to James Ellsworth. They're burying AJ. AJ made James Ellsworth work like TV worthy for like 2 weeks.
You gotta take that L so somebody else. It's the wall.
Yeah.
You're stepping in my hands. I'm the one that breaks these walls down, but today this is you. You get to climb this wall. You get to be the first man over.
So do you think that, again, not just black but also white, do you think people are ultimately buried in their own minds more than on television?
See, the thing that it is people have their favorites. You have their favorites.
Not
and
the fans. Not the fans. The wrestlers. My question to you is, if you're a wrestler, do you think a wrestler buries himself more in his mind than on television if it's just 1 or 2 losses in a row?
If it's
Can
one
he
or
get
two
to
losses
himself?
in a row, it can get to you. Any loss gets to you.
That's fair.
Everybody
Oh, yeah.
hates losing.
Predetermined or otherwise. Yeah.
I don't know one person that can take loss after loss. Like, that was fun. Lose to you tomorrow. Bye. No, that's not humanly possible. Even if it's 1 loss, even if it's 2 losses, it's gonna get to you. But you got to remember, this is a business.
Right.
This is the longest running movie, and you want to have this starring role. So every part they give you in this movie, you have to play that part to the best of your ability. They want you to cry. Damn it, bring the crocodile tears.
Right. And this goes back to what I said. Opportunity leads to another opportunity.
Exactly.
Opportunity should never and back
The way you play it.
to Dwayne and Kobe. Opportunity never led to they are now set, they're done for life. Opportunity led to another
Well,
opportunity.
Kobe is.
Fair.
To be bluntly honest with Kobe, yes.
Yes, we.
Couldn't help it. You
No,
threw that one out there.
No, I did. But that's my whole point. That's my whole point is I don't think WWE ever buried Booker T because he was WCW. Maybe they did it a little bit coming in, but here's the deal. Booker's smart enough to know that worked in story.
But that's the whole thing.
But
They
Booker
never
worked his way.
buried him. The whole thing. You're buried. You are buried. When
6 feet under, can't get out.
you are buried 6 feet under and you can't get out, it don't matter how many times you lose. You're still getting paid. You still getting TV time. You still getting retribution and all of these different chances. Even though you're going to come back and you're going to lose to somebody that's 50 times worse than you. It doesn't matter if you're used as a stepping stone. A stepping stone is still a foundational part.
So in your opinion, even though Booker T was sort of one of the faces of WCW, just being employed for as long as he was in WWE, that's a win for him?
It's not just the employment. Look at all the different ways they used you.
True.
Look at all the
It's
different...
It's not like Booker was a secondary character.
Exactly.
most of his
Look at all
No,
the
yeah.
different positions you were put in. Like, you were always that one top contender, and I had to beat you to get to the championship. So if you weren't the champion, then you were the runner-up. You were always that. You were always the Goro before you get to that final level.
Fair.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you're the monster I have to tame before I can make it to that higher level. You're a boss of your own.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's kind of what you look at with Ricochet. Did you watch Ricochet's 365 documentary?
No, I did not.
Okay,
I'm going to have to check that out.
So Ricochet, it's interesting because I look at Ricochet, and so recently Eric Young got cut by WWE, and then he went to Impact, and Eric's been all over podcasts, news outlets saying, well, Vince dropped the ball on me, Vince didn't know what to do, yada, yada. Look, no promoter was ever perfect. Everybody drops the ball on somebody, okay? That's
Oh,
the
yeah.
way wrestling, it's an imperfect science. But here's the deal. Ricochet, when I watch his documentary, he comes off as, all I ever wanted to do was get to WWE, so did Eric Young. But Ricochet's had ups, he's had downs, everyone's like, oh, Vince is done with Ricochet. And Ricochet just sits there and says, no, that was only my first year. I'm going to be here for 10 more years. I ain't done here. I might be on a downturn right now, but I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna make my name at some point. And I look at that and I'm like, where did that attitude go? Just because WWE doesn't feature you like they do Triple H every week doesn't mean that you can't become Triple H for 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I look at Ricochet, and I look at a guy who's like, yeah, I was a little down. They kept having me lose. I didn't get this, but I was still there. You were still watching me every night. And that's what I try to tell people is like, if you make it to the main roster, just because you were the hottest shit going in NXT, you still made the main roster. If you're on TV for 6 weeks in a row, it doesn't matter if you were the main event. You were on TV 6 weeks in a row. Go make a name for yourself in that half hour. And that's where I think so many wrestlers are like, well, I only got beat in 5 minutes. Yeah, but do people remember you getting beat? Or were you just a bland part of the show that nobody remembers? There's two ways to look at it. And yeah, we talk about wins and losses in real sports, but this is wrestling. It's all predetermined. We know that. But like Willie said, are you someone that, did you go out and did you lose the way they wanted you to? Or did you lose and it was crappy and then you come back and you get pissed on
Did you flop?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No flopping.
Did you get Ron Artest in the midair, or did like somebody tap your shoulder and did you LeBron it?
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I'm not gonna say.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not gonna say you're wrong about that. But that's just my thing. Is just so Willie, as someone who, like you said, got one touchdown in the few times but you were waiting for opportunities. What would you say to a young wrestler who's like, man, I've been doing this for 6 months. I don't think they know me. I don't think they notice me. But hold on, that wrestler's been on TV for 6 months. What are you saying? Is it on the wrestler or is it on the booker?
It's you're focusing on the wrong thing.
Okay.
You're saying, I'm not getting this, I'm losing. Everybody on TV sees me as a loser. You're on TV.
Right.
People are becoming familiar with your face. And after they become familiar with you, then it's going to get to a point where like, oh, this guy's going to lose. I wonder who's after him. And then boom, that's going to be that one day where you're going to jump off the top rope and you're going to decapitate this guy. And you're going to stand there with your chest on his foot and they're going to call you out as the winner.
And that's kind of my biggest problem with Spot Monkey is you are feeding me guys every week that have been built a certain way, and then all of a sudden I'm supposed to take them seriously. It's different with what Willie's saying because Willie is talking about long-term booking. The problem is that long-term booking in AEW is, oh, this guy was big on the internet before we had a TV show. You should already know him from the internet. We're not going to try to tell you who he is. He's just here now. He loses. Then he gets one big win, and all of a sudden I'm supposed to take him seriously solely based on his story from the internet, not national television. For 6 months on national TV, you built him as a loser. Now he's a winner. But it's different when it's a long-term idea versus we're just going to do this one night of the week.
I can't think of who was in the match, but there was the one episode on WWE, and they had to pick this guy's partner.
Okay.
And they just picked like this janitor with this limp, and out of nowhere, super athletic. I mean, he's flipping, flying, close.
Wasn't that Cedric Alexander?
Yes.
It was Cedric, in disguise.
And out of nowhere, it's like, oh, who the hell is this? He's a nobody. But when that happened, it took the entire arena by storm, and everybody was blown. Yep.
Roman Reigns needed a pepper.
Everybody was blown away. And he showed out so much that it got a big play because Roman Reigns' name was attached to it.
Right.
But then when this man started doing that, it turned into Roman Reigns who? Because you see how I described it. It's like, who was the guy that was with him? You knew exactly who I was talking about as soon as I started talking about his feet.
Yeah.
You know this man's name, and everybody knows Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns has a bigger following than he does.
Oh, yeah.
Right or wrong.
Oh, yeah.
But
100%.
the fact that his name was attached to it, and that launched this man into the position where, all right, you're the big name, but I'm about to steal the show.
And Cedric's the prime example. He goes to the Cruiserweight Classic. He puts on a hell of a show for Full Sail University, not for the main event, not Philadelphia or Houston on a Tuesday,
exactly.
but at Full Sail University on the network. For only people who were on the network, he put out in the Cruiserweight tournament. He then lost in his round, and then the crowd chanted, "Please sign Cedric." Triple H walks out, signs him. Cedric was not supposed to be signed from the Cruiserweight Classic. Triple H, in that moment, decided, I'm going to sign this guy. But here's the deal. You were big in the Cruiserweight Classic, then you get to NXT, and you're kind of big because that's mixed with the Cruiserweight Classic. But then you get to the main event, like main roster, But now you have to reinvent yourself a little bit. You can keep the same name and the same moveset, but now you can't. Okay, now nobody cares what you did in NXT. You have to rebuild yourself.
See, that's like the Phoenix situation, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Your old thing is burnt out. This is a chance for you to get bigger, brighter, and be new. That was your platform. You springboarded to a new level. Don't bring old stuff into a new environment. This is a new environment, a new setting. There was something that you wanted to do at one point in time, and you're like, nah, that was stupid.
Well,
this is your chance to try it.
Well, someone told me one time, but Shawn Michaels, quote unquote, reinvented himself and brought the old moveset. But you're talking about a 20-year veteran who was a main eventer virtually his entire career. When you're not Shawn Michaels, like Willie said, you can have aspects of the old stuff, but you have to reinvent yourself. And then when you become the main eventer, then you can bring back the old stuff. Seth Rollins is not wrestling the same way that Tyler Black did in ROH. It's a completely different type of... Now, there are moments where Seth shows what Tyler Black could do, but Seth is wrestling on a different mindset than... And Seth, love him or hate him, whether you think he's bland or not, he gets old school wrestling that he's not Tyler Black, he's Seth Rollins. I can be as athletic as Tyler Black was, but I have to be Seth Rollins now. I can't be Tyler Black. So Cedric Alexander can't be Cedric Alexander who got signed and showed up in the Cruiserweight Classic. He has to be the Cedric Alexander who puts on a janitor's outfit and then has a moment where, yes, he's riding the coattails of Roman Reigns, but who do you remember from that match? You remember the janitor. You don't remember Roman Reigns.
Exactly. And
you didn't even know Roman Reigns was in the match.
Exactly. That's how much he stood out.
Right.
Like,
well, yeah.
That's the true definition of a showstopper. You stopped it from being the Roman Reigns show.
And you made it yours.
Like, it didn't even matter who he was going against.
Now, fast forward to now, Cedric's on Raw almost every night. He's consistently involved in the Hurt Business situation. But you didn't see Cedric much from the janitor outfit till now. So there was that lull. But as Willie said, there's going to be a lull sometimes. There's going to be moments where you got to sit on the bench, sit in catering, wait. But then when you get that opportunity...
You jump for it and go for it.
You take it.
Exactly.
100%.
Because, by the way, a guy like
it's
Austin...
a Rudy situation.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
Something like that.
Because there's a guy like Austin Aries who got shot after shot after shot in the Indies, got to WWE, had a lull, then he left WWE, said, I should have been better. Then he got a main event in Impact, and then he did one of the stupidest, most unprofessional things I've ever seen in my life in this business, was John Morrison, who's that now in WWE, he was Johnny Impact, he was back in Impact. Johnny Impact hits Moonlight Drive, that crazy parkour moonsault that he does. He hits that on Austin Aries, pins Austin Aries, becomes the world champion. Austin Aries rolls right out of the ring and walks away. On live pay-per-view. The cameras aren't off. This is live on pay-per-view. We're celebrating Johnny Impact becoming champion, and you're just walking out like that move didn't do shit to you. You didn't sell for him. You did nothing. You stood like.
It was him pouting.
Yes, and by the way, nobody with TV's given him a shot since.
Hell no. Like I said,
and he's white. So guess what? There's no privilege there.
Like I said, in this situation, if they want you to lose, you have to turn this into the most beautiful loss possible. You have to sell this. They want you to get shot and die. It's not one of those headshots. You got to do that walk of shame, reach for something, talk to somebody who's not there, sell the death.
Go to one of the doctor guys and be like, I had to roll out quick as I like sell something. Don't just walk out and then flip him the bird.
No, here's the whole thing. If you're gonna do that, you try and walk out, sell a concussion, sell a delayed injury, like you're walking halfway up. And then you get ready to flip him the bird and you drop.
Okay.
You got to be carted off.
It's still better booking than what happened.
No, but here's
something better
than what happened. I hit this move on you. You got up and you walked out and it looked like there was nothing wrong. And then when you turned around, your eyes rolled back in your head. You dropped. You're done.
It's still better than
you're out cold. So boom, yes, you just won the title, but I still took your shine because now everybody's like, damn, what did he do that hurt? What happened to you? And what's wrong now?
Right. And going to Cedric, you had this big moment. You were featured with a main eventer like Roman Reigns, and then you weren't featured for a while. But every time you got TV, you did what the producer told you to do.
Yeah.
You did what Vince told you to do. And by the way, Dolph Ziggler is quoted as saying one time, Vince is not unapproachable, But he's a billionaire who runs the show. Don't waste his time. If you have an idea, be quick and direct with him and make sure you know what you're going to say. If you're going to fumble your words, don't go talk to him because his time is money. His time is money. So again, on the show, I'm very Vince apologetic because I look at Vince and I say, he is the man, but I don't think Vince keeps guys down because of race, religion, creed. He doesn't give a damn what company you work for. Because by the way, AJ Styles was the face of the company who tried to take him out in the Ruthless Aggression era, in the PG era. And he's made AJ into probably one of the greatest WWE superstars of all time. But AJ showed up. He didn't go to NXT. He immediately went to Raw night one, and he didn't go to Full Sail and learn. Here's your camera spot. Look at that camera. Don't look at that camera. AJ was immediately night one thrown to TV. Said, "Here's your spot. Get to it in 7 seconds. If you don't, you're screwed." AJ talked about that. He said that a lot of people need NXT. I probably needed NXT a little bit because I didn't understand how they did TV, but my name was never going to be big or small enough to fit in NXT. It was too big. So my thing about this is AJ has said, TNA built me, New Japan made me, but Vince has helped me not only take care of my family, but I want to work for WWE when my career's over. He's the star of the indies. He's the face of, you can be a star without WWE, but he still wants to work there because Vince trusts him, because he went out there and he did the job. He's lost to a guy like James Ellsworth, who, by the way, you put James Ellsworth next to AJ Styles, James Ellsworth didn't belong in the ring with AJ Styles.
Oh, yeah.
The name alone meant nothing. But AJ said, "Oh, you want me to lose to James Ellsworth for 2 weeks in a row? I'm the WWE champion. I'm going to lose to a nobody? Got it.
Yeah, but you got to look at it like this. You can already tell that when it goes down a certain way.
Yeah.
Like, look at Taker. Taker killed how many matches? But then when he took his losses in stride. You never heard about him bitching or complaining.
There were rumors, but they were just rumors.
Yeah, they were rumors.
The documentary proved, as I said, by the way, I said this before this show, and Leroy will confirm, before we ever had a show, I said this. Every time it was reported that Taker was pissed off, it was reported, nobody confirmed it, Taker never confirmed it. Then you watch the documentary and all those things that they said he was pissed about. Oh, he was mad at Bill for almost killing him in Saudi. Undertaker goes on Last Ride and goes, "It was no one's fault. It happened. He got a concussion. It's the way the business works." Everyone was like, "I ain't losing to Brock. Brock doesn't deserve it." Taker says on the documentary, I looked Vince in the eye and says, "Are you sure?" And when Vince said yes, he went out and, quote Willie, did the job. So here's the deal. Undertaker is set for life. He has one of the greatest careers ever behind him, but he did what Vince said every day. But to quote Willie, he did it well. You remember the moments. You remember Taker.
You were fucking
it's
heartbroken.
Fine. It's fine. Yeah.
We're a lot later and it's all right.
All
right, cool.
That'd be one. That's mine. So it's all right.
We'll give you like 1 hour. How's that?
Hey, I did pretty good.
You did well.
Oh,
For you,
yes.
Dropped more than that in like 2 sentences with my son.
Exactly. But that's my whole point. It's just, and ultimately, I like that this topic has kind of dominated things. Is that Willie is sitting here as a young African American saying, "You can hold me." You
have to take so many losses to get a win. I played on a team where we lost every single game.
4
year
years
after
in a row.
year after year. Never scored a point.
They gave us one win because it was a forfeit. We had one win over a forfeit.
1 year, we never lost a game. We took everything, and it wasn't a close win. By far,
no.
We blowing teams out
Like
almost 70-something points at halftime. They come out the locker room just to go to their cars and leave.
It happened.
You know what I'm saying? We blowing teams out in Super Bowls. We get championship rings. We are undefeated. Best offense, defense, and everything. And we went from being nothing to us committing some of the worst penalties. I have full on belly to back, suplex the running back on his head in front of referees, sidelines, and everybody.
I was there.
They patted me on the back. I was like, "All right, sit down before you get us a penalty, dumbass."
But
I wish I could have seen that, man. That would have been
it was
nice.
awesome. It was perfect execution.
And by the way, that team is in my opinion the prime movie example of taking a bunch of guys who probably would have never known each other if this hadn't been a thing. And even though we got our asses kicked, even though we hated each other on the car ride home For some strange... Okay, to quote what happened, we would get our asses kicked by about 55 to nothing. We drive 8 hours home.
Wait. First of all, it would be 50 of them versus 13 of us.
If we were
15
lucky.
at the max.
If we were lucky.
If we're lucky.
We had...
All of our players are playing both sides of the ball, and we got our asses handed to us from the first whistle to the last whistle, and we still showed up the next Saturday to play.
Not just the game. We showed up 3 days later to practice.
Exactly. And
there were more guys at practice.
we still got cleat marks on our legs,
Oh,
armpits, back, shoulders. I'm still missing a tooth from some of the dirty stuff people done did at these games. But you know what? Took those L's. Yeah, we dropped our head. We took some hellified L's. Didn't we lose by like 100 on one game?
101, yep.
101 to nothing?
Yep.
101 points to nothing.
Can I also
That
point
is
to... Hold
never-
on. One positive there. One
Okay.
positive there. That team that we were up by 70 on that quit halfway through the game, we never quit halfway through a game. We played every minute of every game. Every snap had...
Fourth quarter, 101 to nothing.
Every snap had 11 of our guys on the field.
That's good.
That's not true.
Well, 9.
They
Minimum-
had
minimum
anywhere
9.
from 9 to 10, sometimes 11, because when people got hurt,
We
we
didn't
didn't
have
have enough to
replacements.
fill in. We still played. Short-handed. Still played.
There was minimum-
Still took them losses.
There
And
was
then it went to
minimum
the
one of
point
our
where
guys on every
we
play.
didn't have enough people to finish a game. So we had to lose. Then it got to the point where we had so many people, we can't have all of y'all. We had to talk to the league to get it stretched to a 56-man roster so we could add some of y'all.
Yep.
But we took all the L's
But it's
just to get that.
But it's the same in semi-pro. It's the same in pro. It's the same in wrestling, football, baseball. Here's the deal.
You have to lose to win.
And by the way, the GOAT that everyone always says, oh, he never lost. Michael Jordan had to take a lot of L's before he went 6 for 6.
Michael Jordan was trash before he got to the NBA.
Yeah.
He was working on his jumper all the time. Michael Jordan was not a pure shooter. He was not a pure crosser. He was not a pure jumper.
He also wasn't built very well.
lucky.
He also wasn't built.
He was not
No.
what he finished his career as. He worked and he worked and he worked to get there. You don't start off as a superstar. LeBron, bunch of L's. Jordan, bunch of L's. Luka Doncic, still taking L's.
Oh, yeah.
Damian Lillard, still taking L's.
And Luka will take them for a couple more
Exactly.
years.
John Elway took hella L's, but that man went out like a G.
Oh,
Bombest
God,
arm
yes.
ever.
2 Super Bowls in a row to end your career. It don't get much better than that.
Dan Marino took... I don't even have to say how many L's he took. He played for Miami.
Yes.
Yes,
You know what I'm
he
saying?
was great.
He
Oh.
played for the aquatic mammals. Still went out
And
on top.
And by the way, one of Leroy's heroes, or no, one of Willie's heroes that some people may not normally know, I don't think he got a World Series ring, but he is part of the 3,000 hit club. Craig Biggio of the Houston Astros.
Yeah.
Craig Biggio took L's for years, but when he got 3,000, by the way, he was out on his 3,000th hit, and he still stood up and said, that was my 3,000th hit. He was out on his 3,000th hit. He got thrown out trying to stretch it into a double, and by the way, they still stopped the game, and his name was still in lights. That right there is about all you need.
I rest my case.
That's
You
just
got to
crazy.
take L's to get to the top.
And that's my thing about wrestling is, don't listen to the fans.
Wrestling is one
Our
of the
Truth
most...
takes more L's than any. Our Truth is a 38-time, 24/7, 7-Eleven European.
At 30 I thought it was
He's
more
got
than that now.
38 wins and almost 49 L's.
Yeah.
On that
God,
one
yes.
title alone.
But you want to
And he
know
kept
something?
losing to a short British guy.
He did.
That
He
looks
did.
like he's got a hair lip or something.
He lost to a ninja.
Oh, well, he did have a big ninja with him.
Oh, well,
That's a
whatever.
big ass ninja.
But
I didn't think they were that big.
yeah, well, you know. Well, first of all, this is why blacks are not ninjas, because they would beat up everybody. I'm just saying, dude.
They don't have that many trees. No.
Oh.
It's a tall black ass tree. Shut the fuck up.
But anyway,
Holy crap.
anyway, that's my point, is that our Truth is the prime wrestling example, because he said, somebody said on Twitter one time, dude, all you're doing is taking L's every week, and he commented back, I'm doing what I love, I'm making people happy, and I'm getting paid for it. How am I losing?
That's true.
They looking at stats. They
Yeah.
don't look at the overall mind state of the person that's accumulating the stats.
We-
Wrestling is the one thing where your stats don't matter. It doesn't matter how many successful body slams, arm bars, headlocks, or anything that you perform. The thing that matters is your consistency. Are you gonna be consistent?
And he looks
with how
like
many
20.
times they need you to be here?
And he looks the
and
same as he
jobs
did
that
when he
they
was
need you to
22.
do?
So you want consistency. R-Truth is the bar.
You want to know a fun fact about R-Truth?
Last week was the time that he became the first ever 10 pounds of gold African American champion, and still the only. Or no,
Only.
Is he still the only black?
He is
champion?
the only black wrestler to win the 10 pounds of gold.
The NWA World Title, not
No.
the regional championship.
No
He-
other black athlete has
he-
won that.
And by the
And
way,
that's a heck of a. That's
Yet.
awesome.
And by yeah,
It could happen again, but
It's
I
entirely
love
fair.
it.
It's entirely
I
fair.
love it.
But by the way, you want to tell me wrestling holds African Americans down? Trust me, that guy was a rapping, somewhat street stereotypical black guy. They still gave him the most prestigious title probably in wrestling. So guess what, guys? You need to stand out. That's how the business works.
You have to be marketable.
Yeah.
You don't want to blend in with something like wrestling. Wrestling is one of the most humbling sports that you could ever be a part of, especially if it's professional. Because one, you're gonna have to sell this L.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to sell this loss. You're gonna have to sell the win. You're gonna have to sell just you being there, even if you're not on stage and they want to cameo you walking through the back and you got to say something to this person.
Sell it.
Your lines
Oh yeah.
are
Well, just
going
like-
to be remembered, because there's been times where they show Goldberg walking through the back and you still remember when somebody will walk up, look him up and down, and you just remember that cameo. You
Yep.
remember the cameos of Eddie Guerrero. He didn't do a frog splash, a drop kick, or nothing, but you remember seeing him. You remember Dean Malenko walking by. You remember seeing Randy Savage
Yeah.
adjusting his glasses.
Mm-hmm.
You remember seeing Hulk Hogan somewhere in the ring.
Yeah.
You remember seeing Andre the Giant. Who the hell is going to forget that big match?
There you go.
You remember every time you seen these people, because they did what they did and they made it to a point where their image, their logo, their personality, and just them as a person gets burned into your brain. And there's a certain way it starts. You start with your L's. You start with your W's. You start with your cameos.
Hogan
You
got
go
his
to
leg broke
everything.
day one.
Yeah.
Day
and he
one, they
came
broke
back.
Hogan's leg, and he came back for more. Ric Flair, day one, trained with Vern Gagne and said, I don't want to do this anymore. Vern Gagne said, oh, you're coming back tomorrow.
And he did.
And Ric Flair became the GOAT. End of story.
Yeah. So we're gonna talk about. This is a crazy show. We're going like boom
When
everywhere.
Willie's here,
I
the
love it.
show goes off the
Rails.
rails. I love
It
this shit, man.
is.
This is so
Can we-
much
can we-
fun. I don't even know where we're on the page anymore.
Well, we're talking about Underground. It'll be
I think
interesting
we're
to
on
see where they're going to
Brian Resume
go.
now.
Are we? All right.
Well,
let's,
what about the Retribution? I mean,
Retribution
that was
a
very interesting.
so Willie, Retribution almost actually
We can
hurt
do Blind
somebody.
Resume after that.
Really?
So Retribution, as I told you, they broke the Transformer. We were having technical issues.
They did it on
That
Raw.
was on Raw, by the way.
Yes.
We were
It's
told
on
they
Raw.
were going to debut on Raw. Now it's Friday Night SmackDown, and all of a sudden, there's 6 minutes left in the show. There's no match. We're not even in the ring. We're backstage. Then the lights go out. Then these guys come in with baseball bats, crowbars. One dude had a chainsaw later on. He chainsawed the ring. And anyway,
You should have seen the announcers. They ran out of like
Michael Cole
scared
and Corey Graves
bitches.
didn't sit there and call them in the ring. They ran. One of the dudes took the bat and missed Corey Graves' head in the plexiglass by about a foot.
They-
with a real aluminum baseball.
They went after the camera guys that were in there.
They attacked the fans who were just watching in masks. I mean,
Yeah.
like. It,
And there was there 5 or was there 6?
I think there were 5 guys, 1 girl.
No, I think there was. I heard there was 2.
Were the 2
like
women?
3 guys
Nobody really knows who
and
it
2
is.
women.
There's a rumor
rumors.
out there that they used a bunch of extras, and that when they finally start to unmask them, they're going to put the real talent in. That's just a rumor. That's all I'm saying.
Possibly.
It's just a rumor.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is that here's the deal. And I was going to talk about this with Retribution. So again, going back to where America is right now and what's happened. Somebody asked online, did WWE just debut rioters in a protest? And I'm like, okay, here's the deal. I'm not saying they're poking at any rioter, nothing like that. What I'm saying is this. Vince has a certain skill of taking what's going on in our lives, and whether or not he's trying to push an agenda or not, he makes you feel what's going on. Because when Rusev first debuted with Lana, America was having problems with Putin. They were having Russian issues. Now, was Alexander Rusev here to take over America? No. But they were talking about how Putin was giving him the greatest honor in Russia. They were talking about how these two people were Russian and Rusev was here to like take over. Vince was showing you the world. He has this unique ability. WWE has always. But here's the deal. Here's the deal. I'm not saying that they're saying, oh, all Black Lives Matter protesters were rioters. That's not what he's trying to say. But what was one of the biggest news type things on any platform for so long? It was protests / riots, whether or not you believe either one. We're not getting into that. But all I'm saying is that if that's what they're doing, it's culturally relevant. And I think that again, no news outlet has taken up this story than what I'm saying. I saw this from one person. But my point is it got me thinking. Whenever something goes on in the world, WWE somehow art will imitate life. Not perfectly, not the same. This isn't Black Lives Matter taking over WWE. But it's a visual that all of a sudden when you turn off the TV, you go out and you look at the world.
It opens your eyes to things that you were ignorant to because you didn't want to see it.
Yep.
And I think
nobody wants to watch the news because it's always bad. But then, when you're watching your favorite television show, and then something from a current event pops up in there, and it stops and it punches you in the chest and says, "Look at me," and acknowledge what's happening. Which
is why I love the Black Panther movie, was because Black Panther, everyone said, oh, they changed it to be more black forward. First of all, that's been Black Panther since Stan Lee wrote it. That's not like that's not news. But here's the deal. I liked that it was more forward because at that time, it wasn't a George Floyd murder situation, but when Black Panther came out, there was a lot of racial sort of issue going on in America. It was more of a social thing than it was like a justice system thing. But my whole thing about it is that, like Willie said, when you are in your comfort zone and then something happens that takes you out of it, that's never a bad thing. For better or for worse, it's never a bad thing. Because at least you're now aware of the world around you, and you can't. And okay, Willie, just to kind of point out, I think you were getting at this. You can't live in a bubble because they're not going to let you live in that bubble. Is that kind of what you were going for there?
Kind of, sort of, but not really.
Okay.
You can live in a bubble.
Yeah.
You can be intentionally and willfully blind and ignorant to everything that's going on around you.
Yeah.
But it takes more effort to try and ignore it and to try and turn a blind eye and to try and just silence it out, because it's everywhere you go, it's everywhere you turn, it's in everything that you look at. It's in your clothing, it's in your food, it's in your sports, it's on your movies, it's everywhere. So for you to try and do that, you cannot live in a bubble. There's no way possible. The only way for you to even remotely try and do that is if you watch nothing but old school black and white TV.
Right.
And even then, they still have commercials.
And that was the thing, was that New Day, when they were the tag team champions, they would come out and their armbands said George Floyd, Breonna Taylor. They said names. And by the way, everyone always talks about, oh, Vince has 100% total control all the way down to what they wear. So obviously Vince was okay with this.
Ding.
Yeah.
All of you people who hate Vince say he has too much control. Well, if he has too much control and he's racist, why was New Day allowed to do it? You think Vince is a billionaire. Right. He doesn't give in to that type of stuff.
So here's the deal.
Yeah.
If Vince was racist, The Rock would never have been as big as he was.
Right.
Mm-hmm. If he was racist, Ron Simmons would never have been as big as he was. If he was racist, there would have never in the history of ever been any way in hell that there would have ever been an entire group called the Nation of Domination, where everybody's flying the colors of an African flag. There is no way possible.
And by the way, we've talked to both Ron and D'Lo. We haven't gotten too much into the Nation. I mean, we kind of did in the interview, but it wasn't.
We did a little bit with D'Lo, yes.
But it wasn't on the racial stuff. But here's the deal: Vince once again is not poking fun at anything. He is presenting it in a certain way that it's
presenting it in a certain light, so that way it's easier to stomach, because reality is too harsh for some people and not everybody can handle it. So like they said, who the hell said it? Mary Poppins, a teaspoon of sugar makes the medicine go down.
Yeah.
Yes.
So putting it in this way, shining it in this light, this is that teaspoon of sugar. Take your medicine.
Right.
Wake up, realize this is happening. This is a way for you to accept it without breaking down and losing your mind
And
and
let me
just
say
wanting
it,
to run away.
and let me say it again. You bring up Nation of Domination. We've had New Day. We have Booker. We've had Brock. Everyone. Here's the deal.
A magnitude of groups.
Yeah, but here's the deal.
Yeah.
Going back to the fans being hypocritical. You say what you hate is that Vince has too much control. Well, if he has the control that you say he does, not me, not Willie, not Leroy, you say he's got the control. If he does, how can he be racist if he looks at New Day and says, put on the arm, or I'm not saying he said put it on, but they put the armband on, they feel like they need a platform to do their thing, and he's clearly giving a blessing, because here's the deal. If he didn't want them to make that statement, they ain't gonna do it.
Here's another thing. If you go back to the Nation of Domination, when that group broke, everybody got their own solo persona.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
how is it
Sadly-
that you're raceless, that you're going to take
Sadly, D'Lo's
one
entire persona
gigantic black
is the
group,
walk to the ring, but we'll talk about that later.
you're going to turn this one gigantic group that's just all African American,
Yeah.
basically, and then you're going to break it apart. Now, it's one thing to break it apart and banish it from the show, but if you're going to break it apart and give everybody their own platform, their own light, their own persona, and everybody gets a chance to become this big name,
Yeah.
you're giving everybody a shot at becoming a household name, but this is something that you're supposed to be against?
Yeah.
It's bull.
Not to mention that Ron didn't need that push after Nation because Ron's prime career was sort of over. But Ron still had influence. Ron still taught people what to do.
Yeah.
D'Lo told us in the interview, Ron Simmons is one of those guys that takes
He was like a player coach.
Exactly. He takes the chair. It's in the middle of the locker room. It's not. He doesn't have his own locker. He puts it in the middle of the locker room, and it don't matter if you're the lowest guy on the card that night or if you're the main event guy on the card. You can walk up and you can ask him a question about life, about the sport. It doesn't matter. And I look at Ron Simmons and I say to myself, that is Mount Rushmore GOAT level type of mentality. Whether or not he ever achieved that is irrelevant because that's who he was. And by the way, Nation of Domination, we still talk about it today.
Well,
Vince has scrubbed Benoit from the records. He has scrubbed other things. He has scrubbed things that made him look bad from the records like crazy. Nation of Domination, you search them on the network, you can find everything they ever did on live national television.
I'm proud to say I was an honorary member for a night down at a Showdown Twin. Yes,
Nice.
this little white boy and Jason, who's a little bit bigger, got in and we were honorary member
I
of
will
the
fully
Nation of
admit I would have done
Domination.
it too, but I blew too much money on merch. But that's who I am as a person. I blow money on merch.
No, you were out doing something, and it was
I
only.
was working the show, you dumbass.
I don't know. You were doing. Yeah, you're trying to get our next interview. That's what you're trying
I was
to
getting
do.
an interview. Yeah.
That's what you're trying to. So if you would have been there,
Business, damn
damn
it.
straight, motherfucker.
we. But
That's
hey,
not one.
I'm glad I was.
Oh.
Leroy, well, works with Monet and beat honorary member of the Nation of Domination. You know,
These are
whatever.
one of the light skins.
Yeah.
But
So
that's my whole thing is that wrestling, I don't think now. Okay, I am never gonna say that wrestling doesn't see color. Everyone sees it; it's there. But our truth,
Color is your gimmick in wrestling.
exactly.
yes,
This is the one place where it literally works in your favor, besides basketball.
Yeah.
Because you gotta admit, like, if you see all three of us lined up to play basketball, if the NBA was looking at all three of us, they look at me first.
Yeah.
And I can't hit a jump shot to save my kid's life.
It's never been your forte is basketball.
Hell
It's
no.
never been your forte.
Like, I am the Hoover vacuum of basketball. I suck at basketball.
So okay, since we've delved into the subject, I'm gonna go down the rabbit hole and I'm just gonna ask you this question. One of the biggest things that again still isn't scrubbed from the record, but that one time that Vince used the N-word, not with a hard ER, but the one time he used it to John Cena. We laugh about it, but
yep.
like
Got the white boy saying that to him.
But now here's my question. Because they're doing it on an entertainment platform. Because here's the deal. Any white person that has ever worked with Quentin Tarantino has been allowed to say the N-word about 40 times a movie. Number one. But everybody always blurs the line to the fact that it is entertainment. So Vince doing that, I'm not saying Vince was making a political statement or a social statement, but it for what Cena was kind of being at that point in Cena's character before John chose to change the rap to I'm never rapping again because there were more kids coming. This is before John changed to hustle, royalty, respect. This was John Cena the rapper. is it okay because it wasn't an entertainment section? Do you hold that against Vince? Is that a problem with what he did?
Hell no. The only thing I held against Vince was anything that he did to Stone Cold. That's the only thing I've ever held against. That's the only thing I've ever held against him.
Okay. No.
That's very interesting.
That's good. But that's my thing is that I'm not saying, because here's the deal. I always say comedians only have a license to get away with things if they are equal opportune people. This is why Seth MacFarlane is not involved in any racial issue, because he makes fun of everybody. South Park makes fun of everybody. But Vince,
that is true.
But that's the thing. Vince, in my opinion, has presented the news in a way where nobody looks better other than like heel versus face. Individuals look better, but he's never made a race, religion, or creed look better, but he's always brought that in. Because when he faced Shawn, God versus Vince wasn't poking fun at Christianity, but it was Vince versus Shawn. Shawn's a born-again Christian. It made sense. But again, people give Vince crap for being quote-unquote racist, even though he's an entertainer and he's got an entertainment platform. He's trying to tell a story. And by the way, Vince, in my opinion, has been one of the few directors of entertainment that has been more honest about things. It's been presented differently, obviously, because it's wrestling, but he's been more honest than any movie or TV show I've ever seen.
All right, well,
I do agree.
In retrospect, let me say this.
Yeah.
You're going to remember me saying this. I'm not going to say it exactly word for word, verbatim.
Well, it's being recorded right now, so we'll remember it.
In the door,
yeah.
Before we walked in the door today, we were talking about music, and I said, people are stupid.
Yeah.
And like, stupid is the Christian way of me saying it. I had a different word that I used to describe people.
Very fair.
People are stupid because people are going to follow the crowd. People hate to stand out. People are sheep and they want to be accepted into the flock. Now, what you have to realize,
flocks don't become billionaires.
Damn straight, because if the flocks were all billionaires, none of you bastards would be sitting at home listening to this. You'd be counting your money, diving in the change like Scrooge McDuck. Right?
There we go.
Well, I hope they're listening at home to this at least.
But if you are rich listening to this,
we need
some
really
money. Appreciate your patronage, and at
we
any
have
given time, we accept
any funds.
qualified donations.
I need better equipment.
Yeah.
He needs a better studio, like, maybe like 3, 4, 7 bedroom house, something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Nothing too fancy.
No.
We
West Palm Beach, we're good.
No, we'd settle for something on the sandy beaches of
it'd be a great place.
LA.
LA, yeah, that'll work.
It's not in Oakland, it's hard to do a podcast when you got bullets flying through the window.
Exactly.
Shout out to California.
There we go.
A great venue to invite guests onto the show because have a nice green room for them to come in before they came into the show.
Or you could put us in Colorado and we can actually have a green room.
Oh, yeah.
I'm okay with this. I have no issue with this whatsoever. But that's my whole thing. That's my whole thing is that we go from opportunity opportunity doesn't see color, in my opinion.
Oh.
The people giving it, like you said, color is your gimmick, and here's the deal. What's wrong? Because by the way, wrestling's forget black for a second. Wrestling's been doing this with Latino stars for years. A lot of times the gimmick has to start with racial because you have to get that backing.
Here's the whole deal. Like, you cannot say that wrestling is racist because the president openly hates Hispanics.
Openly.
Freaking openly.
Yes.
He hates a lot of people. And he's not afraid to say that.
We're going to build a wall, and we're going to kick them out. We're going to dip it in gold, and we're going to make them pay for it.
Exactly.
Get them the hell out of here.
Yeah, exactly.
But you look at wrestling.
And by the way, folks, quick note.
There are
quick note.
countless amounts of people.
Willie, hold up that. Quick note, little disclaimer. That is not a political statement. That is
literal.
That is literally what he said as a person. Well, going on, Willie. Continue.
Yes.
Why you cannot say it's racist because Mexicans, Latinos, Hispanics, brown people have been hated everywhere except for in wrestling. Look at it. Luchadors are praised everywhere. You cannot look at a mask without thinking luchador.
Most luchadors are buried in their mask if they're big enough.
Exactly.
That's how big it is.
But you have people that have gone over to Mexico to claim luchadors and bring them to an American company. How much hate do you think he has, or how much racism do you think he has to get Eddie Guerrero into that? Chavo Guerrero.
Not to mention that they're
Who-
not just Latino superstars, they're Latino royalty.
What?
Oh,
Dean
God,
Malenko.
yes.
Dean Malenko wasn't a white guy. Dean Malenko was not white. And then there's another one. I'm trying to think of his name. Not Taz, but the bald head cholo looking one. Ooh.
Ah, dang.
Not Chavo.
No.
No, it's not Chavo. But at one point in time, he was a luchador.
Yeah.
But then he made it to an American wrestling channel. And yes, his race played a big role for him because they made him look like a thug. They put him in the long dickies with the chucks and the white tees and the suspenders with the hats and the lowrider styles. They did all that, but when they did that, they branched out to a much bigger demographic.
Yeah, who is it, Leroy?
Conan.
Yes!
Yes, Conan!
I love Conan. I loved
Exactly.
him, man. I loved
Like,
him, man.
that bridged the gap for me growing up in like
It was the
racially
Dickies that
charged
got it for
neighborhood.
me.
I had something to talk to the Hispanic people about. Like, yeah, you watch wrestling? Yeah, I watch wrestling. Hey, did you catch Conan body slam dude through the tape? Oh shit, yeah, fool, I saw that. Then boom.
Vince is the prime example of when you make that much money, you don't hear people who don't have that kind of money speak. You look at business and you say, "There's
Who's
only
going
one
to
color."
pay me?
Yeah, no. That's the point. There's one color when you're a billionaire, and it's called green.
Oh,
Here's the deal.
yeah.
Here's the deal. Vince McMahon. Let's say there's a guy who straight up hates Vince's guts, which has been a lot of dudes that have worked with Vince over the years. But if they're still gonna make him money, damn straight he's gonna bring them back. So if Vince looks at a black or Latino star in the Indies and says he's got a big following, he's got like 20 million Twitter followers, Vince is gonna sign him in a heartbeat because that's money.
All right, let's put it this way. They keep saying, "Oh, Vince is racist." He's not. Vince has beat the hell out of more white people than he has black.
This is true.
How many
that is
times
true.
have you seen him and his son do something to
Shawn Michaels, Triple H, the Spirit
Stone
Squad.
Cold Steve Austin, anybody in DX?
But they worked with The Rock.
Yeah, they worked with The Rock. You see, he didn't want no smoke. But at the same time, either way it goes, he beat the hell out of more white people than he did black. So how does that make him racist? Well, I'm not going to beat any black people up.
And if
That's
any-
how racist I am.
And if anything,
I know.
going
And I'm
back,
looking for some smoke.
Like, unless the rest of the world wants to get so racist that they only start doing violence against white people, it doesn't count.
Thank you. But that's my point. Going back to the original example where this whole thing started, Booker coming in. Booker T was buried. First of all, wasn't buried. But if anything, he was made to look buried because he was former WCW, and it had nothing to do with how Booker looked. It was because he was former WCW. Booker could have been white all day, but because he was a 5-time WCW champion, because he was one of the mainstays of Nitro for years, that's why Vince buried him.
He didn't even bury him. He shelved him.
Yeah.
He wanted to just wait till the WCW hype still died off. Because if you look at it, look at what he did to Hulk Hogan when he came in.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan had so many different ones. It was the NWO, then there was the Wolfpack, and then it was just the Hogan, and then you had all these different things. You know what I'm saying? Still funny looking orange dude with a feather boa.
Yeah.
But either way it went, he still got his ass kicked a bunch of times.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He
And-
still got his ass kicked regularly.
And, you know, it's like, again, we tried to get through topics today, but I actually like where we went because, again, this is the common theme of this show is that fans, you guys end up ruining the show more for yourselves than the booker ever does.
The fans don't end up ruining it for themselves. The stupid hypocrites. The
Okay,
whiny ones that figure like everything has to be a Disney ending when it's wrestling. No. It doesn't go that way. Because you like
heels
them
make
doesn't-
better world champions.
Yes.
Yes.
Ric Flair's the best world champion of all time,
Everybody
and
loves
nobody
to-
like Rick.
Everybody loves to see a bad guy win. You can say that you don't. How many people have rooted for Tony Montana to win in the movie before he gets gunned down? A lot of y'all. You like when the bad guy wins. This is the only option where you get a chance to see the bad guy on top for a while.
Yeah.
And then you become so used to it and so accustomed that you start to like it. And then you're kind of taken by surprise. when a good guy comes in and knocks him off the pedestal, and now it's a back and forth battle. And you forgot, and now this heel has turned into your favorite.
Prime example: Drew McIntyre came back to WWE, was a heel with Ziggler for a while, but then a bigger heel, Brock, shows up. Everyone's like, "We hate Brock," yet y'all are watching him every day.
Ding. You're gonna hate this guy, but you're gonna watch him hoping that he loses.
And then Drew wins, and now the good guy wins. Now Drew's a babyface because he went up against the bigger heel, and then it was a turn.
Exactly. It's like,
and Drew's been presented great, by the way. He looks strong.
Okay,
he's funny. Everything's great about Drew.
Quick off-topic subject.
Yeah.
Braun Strowman versus Bobby Lashley. Who's the heel?
I think it's Bobby.
Really?
The way that Bobby's currently presented.
Yeah, the way it is now. Yeah.
I like him as a heel. I don't like him as a good guy.
Braun?
No.
Oh, Bobby?
Bobby.
No.
I like him as a heel. Braun, I like him either way.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he's...
But Bobby's personality comes off as such a tough guy that you can't see him smiling with the, and high-fiving.
Isn't he the one that was messing around with old boy's wife?
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. That's what made me like him. I felt like a personal attachment to him.
Funny story.
Oh,
Funny story. Rusev got kicked off Twitch because of his wife.
Because I watched some of that because the way she was...
Reportedly kicked off because of his wife. Because here's the deal. Rusev announced he was no longer going to do wrestling and he was going to focus on his gaming channel and being on Twitch because he's big into, streaming. 2 days later, Twitch announces his channel has been removed from their services because, again, everyone sits there and says, I'm going to go to Twitch. Do you realize the standards you have to have at Twitch to have a channel?
My question is, who did his wife blow to get his channel canceled that quick?
It wasn't that.
Oh.
She was on there.
She was on there in a bikini. The problem is that Twitch is like YouTube, but they're very family friendly. If you have bare feet on Twitch, you are done. They cancel everything you've ever done.
You can't be barefoot on Twitch?
Twitch wants nothing to do with the feet dark side of the web.
I'll put it this way.
To do with it.
Twitch is the Amish of online.
In a lot of ways, they can be.
Yeah, that's about right.
No offense to Amish or the Twitch.
We will be on Twitch.
Yeah, or Twitch.
We'll do a Twitch thing maybe someday, but here's my thing. Their standards are higher.
You can't
Would they let us on Twitch? I don't think they would.
Oh,
I don't think they would.
You can swear on Twitch. There's nothing wrong with swearing on Twitch.
Wait.
We just can't show our feet.
You can't show your feet, and there's no... It has to be somewhat family-oriented, but you can still swear on Twitch.
How many curse words do you get a show?
I don't think there's really a limit. We'd have to look into that, but
that could be dangerous.
But this is why.
Let's do it,
But
Willie.
this is why. But this
is that
is
a
why,
challenge?
Yes.
Yeah. But that's my whole
You know
thing.
what? I'd be that one guy. And it doesn't matter if I'm supposed to be on the episode. I'm just gonna come through. It's like, hi, Twitch, F-bomb. All right, that was my F-bomb for the F-bombing show.
But that's my...
I want to thank everybody, so F-bomb you.
But no, Willie.
Hashtag no feet.
But Willie, that's a prime example of what we've been talking about for about the last, I would say, 45 minutes to an hour. Is Bobby just comes off as a heel? You don't look.
He's just got one of those faces. They've got people in real life that have a face that make you think, he's got that Jafar face.
He does.
There is no way in hell you could ever see Jafar as a good guy. Right?
No, you can't. No.
He's got a Jafar face.
Yep. So anyway, okay, personally, in my opinion, we have a bunch of stuff for next show. I loved where we went with it. I love when we was on the show.
Oh, it was fun.
Because here's the deal. You think we go off the rails, but did we really go off the rails?
We went off deeper into the topics.
Exactly. And that's so in conclusion, this show in my opinion shows a couple of things. Number one, Rock is gonna do great. I can't wait to see where that goes.
From speculation, of course.
Yes.
You gotta remember, he is in the business with his ex-wife, and if she was that great at doing business, he wouldn't have divorced her. But that's not my business.
But also, I think we've sort of said, guys, in wrestling, just shut up and enjoy the show. And by the way, as D'Lo said in the interview, if you don't,
wait, wrong person.
Close.
as D'Lo said in our interview, which by the way is on our YouTube page now.
Yes.
Oh, I was watching that on YouTube earlier.
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
As D'Lo said, if you,
Actually, I was watching that when I hit you up to get that Super Cat video from you.
nice.
Shout out to the homie Super Cat.
Wildcat.
Wildcat,
Wildcat.
Super Cat, Cat Dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
We
here's
gotta
my
get him
thing.
on.
Here's my thing. D'Lo Brown quoted as saying, "If you don't like it, no one's forcing you. Change the channel." Here's the deal: all you people that bitch about Vince, you're still watching this show.
I don't like him. Here's my money.
Half the people in the lounge who say screw Vince, they're saying screw Vince during a pay-per-view, so you're obviously paying $9.99 to get the
While
pay-per-view.
you're wearing a WWE shirt and your John Cena footies. So, guess what, America?
Did John Cena ever actually have a footy
Pick
channel?
one.
I
think he had
don't
footy
think-
pajamas.
Did he?
You know what?
Did he?
I should ask Darren. See if Darren could get a footy.
Oh,
with
yeah.
this.
There you
Hey,
go.
see if
Mr.
we can make
Corbin?
some adult footy pajamas. I want them.
He'll do
Maybe.
it.
I'll
I
have to
guarantee he'll
talk
do
to
it.
him.
I'm not even kidding. Like,
Oh,
if
no,
he
no,
makes
oh, no,
them,
no. He'll
I
straight
will
up
wear
do it.
his footy pajamas to the show.
Oh, I love it.
I
it,
love
it.
wearing. I got so much of Darren's stuff anyways.
Leroy, tag him. Get this soundbite
Like
to him. I don't care what
unicorn,
you get.
dude, unicorn footy pajamas. I will wear it as long as you
Oh
have
my.
like blood on the rainbow unicorn.
I'll have
I
to
will
send him
rock
a
those
message
in-
Send him.
about that.
Send him. Tell him to listen to like the
Oh,
last
my
5 minutes of the
Lord.
show. Please do it.
Just listen to
Yes.
the listen
Oh,
to the
it's
fast
so
minute,
good.
Darren. We'll pimp your new stuff next week.
Anyway, thank
And
you.
yes.
Anyway, really, without a shadow of a doubt, thank you. It's always a
Oh.
pleasure to have you on the show.
Love having you on.
You
All right.
guys can't see it, but right now I'm kind of like curtsying.
Our executive vice president of marketing, ladies and gentlemen,
Oh, boy.
Leroy is also here. Leroy's kind of been here. I'm not sure, but
Well, I've been more of the technical.
technical aspect of it. But anyway,
Yeah.
like us on Facebook,
Engineering.
subscribe to YouTube, exclusive YouTube content from people like Willie coming soon.
Ding 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 ding.
Thank you
And
all so much.
We got some new videos up to do. Some behind the scene or behind the mic, as I
We're
call
gonna have
it.
some behind the scenes videos.
Behind the
put up
mic,
here
it's kind of fun.
pretty at
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
point.
You're gonna get
Um,
to see what goes on when we're sitting here laughing and joking. Yeah, you're gonna have to watch it and have a couple of laughs with us behind the mic. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure if Willie goes for another 10 seconds, we actually have to pay for the monetization. I'm not sure.
I don't know. Maybe,
Anyway,
maybe.
thank you all very much. This has been Zach, Leroy, and of course, as always, and hopefully more often, Willie. Thank you all for listening to 13 Card Subject Change. Pretty sure we got through 4. Don't care. Have a good day, everyone.
Yeah, yeah.